Happy Halloween, everybody! Welcome to Video Games Awesome Live. Horrible, embarrassing childhood stories 2020 edition, powered by AMD. Becky has been practicing for a month for you guys to show some badass play styles.
Guys, it's my favorite day of the year.
Before we get into the stories, do you want to have anything to show us, like different things that you've updates for Binding of Isaac nerds that would be impressed?
No idea. We'll go into stats. I have killed Mum 109 times. Fraser's always impressed. He always asks me if I've killed Mum yet. I have 109 times. But I've died 668 times. Damn it! I died twice last night. I could have been at 666! Guys, it's a fucking full moon. It's Halloween.
It is a full moon tonight.
Holy shit. First time since the 1940s.
I'll bring it down. Maybe that's better, guys.
Okay, so these are the endings. I think I've only gotten one more since last year. Secrets. Oh god, I'm not going through these. But I got a whole bunch of them. The bestiary I find actually like quite interesting. I'll just flip through the pages. So you have to like.
They made so many things.
Yeah, you have to unlock each of the baddies basically.
Did you got them all yet?
I think I'm missing maybe one. And it's cool because it tells you like how many times you've died to them.
They put so much content in.
Yeah. These are kind of like the big baddies here. This guy, I fucking hate. The bloats. Oh man, they kill me.
That's so cool that it gives stats on how many times you've killed him and how many times they've killed you.
Right? I think it's interesting to see like how many encounters we've had. Mm-hmm. And sometimes like the numbers don't quite add up, like the deaths and the kills, because I like used a card or something to like
get the fuck
away.
out.
Yeah.
Man.
It's almost done.
Crazy.
Ah, there.
Look at all that. Unknown.
I have one.
Why is it unknown? How could you find it? How could you play as much as you do and still not have found something?
So the way Delirium's fucking hard to. The way I play is I have in previous years looked things up, but I just do random and accept any item that's given to me.
That's the true fucking way to do roguelike.
So I don't really know. Like, I had to look it up. Okay, so this is like, for Isaac, I've unlocked all of these things on the post-its, or beat like all of these things on the post-its, and I couldn't figure out what the top and the bottom were on the right-hand side, so I had to look it up because I was like, what am I doing wrong? But I'm incredibly thorough when I play, and both of those are like, you have to beat Mom in 20 minutes or half an hour or less. And so this year I really focused on just like blowing through, like balls to the wall.
And did you do it?
I did it a couple times. So I did one of them with Cain, and then Samson I did it with both.
Samson has pecs.
That's funny. I have tons of beat-in tokens. But yeah, I just do random. I play hard. I think
greed?
I beat them all on greed. Yeah. Greed is where it's like a boss rush mode, sort of.
Oh. It just got set to normal.
Oh, I don't want that.
There you go. All right, well, Becky's gonna get her run started. I'm gonna boot into the Turbo Discourse.
So
if you're Turbo and you wanted to share a horrible childhood story, you had one more thing to say?
It's really hard for me to go from playing on handheld to the big screen.
Ah, yeah, it must be a mind fuck. So don't expect her best amazingness.
Yeah, it'll take a bit. I'll get it.
Keep in mind, when I say horrible, embarrassing childhood stories, I don't want truly traumatizing, horrible, like that's gonna make us all sad stories. Embarrassing, funny.
Yeah, I tried to mention that.
Yeah. Let's see here. Turbo. Turbo discourse.
I emailed it to you. I don't know if that's.
I can get it.
Well, that's kind of a bummer. I missed the.
My existence is a sad story. Just kidding. If you pooped your pants, it's a bonus. If it occurred on Halloween, that's an extra bonus.
Ooh.
Oh, weird. Discourse won't load up. It's just a white screen for me on my iPad.
Are you logged in?
Yeah. I feel like I've gone into the Discourse before on iPad.
Oh, shit.
Won't work on tablet. That sucks. I have to get my laptop. Thing's huge.
Oh, I didn't want to get that.
How about, so that I don't have to get a giant laptop and sit it on my lap, could one of the mods slowly, one by one, post the stories to me as a DM on Discord?
I injured myself so I could get my little bird out. 'Cause he said-
It works on tablet? Well, something's going on for me, so I'll just have somebody go dig in. Oh, it suddenly started working. I have no idea what happened. All right, okay, I can get in, don't worry. And then I'm gonna go into where do I go after that? Categories? Where do you go in here?
You're not logged in.
Oh. Okay. So it's a little tricky. Okay, there we go. There they are. I see them right away. Well, that's weird because I was in sticks and I thought you automatically get logged in. Anyways. All right, guys. My voice will be pretty loud if I don't put this mic in the right spot. All right. So we begin with 2020 Halloween, or just traumatizing stories 2020. Brevity is your friend also. Big points for brevity. All right, so Skiddly says, I save any stories I think of during this year, so I actually have something to say this show. When I was 5 or 6, my mom got fucking mad at me. She shouted at me a bit and sent me to go watch TV in her room for a while so she could calm down. In the middle of a Kim Possible episode, I heard this crash at the door, on the door. Apparently my mom had been trying to call me for a while, but between the heavy wooden bedroom door and the teenage crime fighting show, I hadn't heard, so she had to throw a shoe at the door. Bedroom was upstairs, to get my attention. My mom yelled at me about how she was trying to call me to make up with me.
Oh.
But since she had to do that, I was grounded for the rest of the afternoon. You made me resort to throwing my shoe. So now you're grounded more.
The game is still pretty loud.
All right, yeah, I noticed that. Once the game started, it got a lot louder.
So guys, just to let you know, I'm kind of trying to do a speed run. So I'm like, usually way more thorough than this.
That might make it better, guys. All right, back to Skiddly's story.
Son of a bitch.
Like I was intentionally trying to ignore her or something. I'm 22 and still salty about this. Forgive the second story, but I remember this one because it's a Skittle classic. My grandparents had this big cold stone basement in their house. There was a main room, and then there was the attached laundry room that felt pretty big when I was young, so I was too scared to go in it for years. One afternoon when I was 5 or 6, my cousins and I were playing down there. We started hearing this horrible roaring noise and peeked into the dark laundry room. She informed me that there was a dragon living in there and proceeded to run away and leave me alone to face it alone. I was terrified and rooted to the spot, afraid that if I tried to leave, then the dragon would hear me.
Aww.
How old were you? 5 or 6, okay. After what felt like forever, I managed to creep away as quietly as I could. I went upstairs, naturally confronted and the gathered parents and grandparents about the incredibly dangerous dragon in the basement I had never been informed about. Turns out my grandpa had been taking a nap upstairs, and the roaring was just him snoring. I can't remember exactly what happened next, but chances are I started crying because somebody laughed at the ridiculous story. Then
Oh my
I pooped
God.
my pants or something.
That sounds like it could be a Becky story.
Because you're a dork.
And I cried all the time. Like, I'd tell a funny story and they'd laugh, and then I'd cry. Because they were laughing at me.
Alpha66 says, second grade, sitting in class, the teacher calls me up to the podium to discuss the test score. So I walk up. I need to pee. Give me your age when you give me these things. Oh, it says grade 2 at the bottom. Okay. With the best poker face I can muster, I slowly pee my pants. My teacher fails to notice, and so does the class. Maybe a higher power advised me to wear black pants that day. Eventually, she finishes and returns me to my table. The next few kids are called up one by one to the same spot. I hear the splish-splashing sound of them stepping in my pee puddle. I do not say a word. My condolences to the grade 2 class of 2003. He has another one.
That's pretty sad.
11 years old, during recess, someone brought in a gaming magazine to flip through. On one particular spread was a giant portrait of a nurse with some sizable boobs. Nice! He's 11? Nice.
Yeah, score.
Instantly, us boys were invested. Problem, her face was all swirled up in a mess of skin and goop, all bloodied? Years later, I realized it was the Silent Hill 2 nurse. She didn't quite faze me then. Fast forward to when I got home, and my mom was furious at a test I'd failed and told me to run 25 laps around the neighborhood as punishment. It was pitch black. Jesus, corporal. But at least I wasn't spanked. Into my 5th lap, a tiny rain began. The rain was so thin that you couldn't notice the droplets, just cold. Sudden sensation on the back of your neck and a chill going down your spine. Well, this is a pretty flowery story. I instantly got spooked and started looking around the darkness to find whatever was triggering my spine chill. And that moment I imagined the fucked up nurse hallucinating that her silhouette was behind me, chasing me down with her knife, about to slice me up.
With her sexy boobs.
I did the remaining 20 laps. My feet wanted to die the next morning, but that sexy nurse didn't get me. Quackwalks says, growing up in a small farmhouse, we kept a tall freezer next to the front door with a cat that loved to hang out on it. One day, as I merrily made my way outside for fun and adventure, this cat decided it was time. As soon as I looked up at him, he pounced directly on my face and latched onto it.
Aww.
I screamed things like, ah God, oh no, and ah. Then I ripped him off and wondered, what did I do to deserve this? Cats are the best pets, but geez. Depends on how old you were. Some cats just can't stand the presence of kids. It's the way they move.
Yeah, pretty erratic.
Nerd in a Can says, one Halloween many years ago, my family realized I did not have a costume. So we did the only thing we could think of. Put together a costume for me last minute. I wore my sister's black dance leotard with black tights, a vampire cape, and a pair of animal ears. I was a bat.
Okay.
But that night, when we were trick-or-treating with some friends, we came up to a house, and I said trick-or-treat, and the woman giving out candy did the thing where they identify what everyone's costume is. So when she got to me last, she said, oh, you're a vampire bear.
Clearly a bat. Come on, lady.
Yeah, I mean, the stories don't need to be horrible. They can just be
like these are
slightly embarrassing. You don't have to dig deep into your trauma. I like stories like that.
Yeah.
Mr. Blow says,
of no relation.
after years of posting traumatizing childhood stories, here's an adulthood one. All right, I'll accept it because you're a longtime member. This one is pretty gross, so be prepared. Let's set the scene. It was 5 years ago. I was chewing a piece of mint gum After no luck finding the garbage trying to dispose of the gum, I decided to swallow it. Never swallowed gum. Skipping ahead to the next day and notice a weird menthol cooling sensation on my butt. I don't want to hear about your butt, dude. Especially if you're an adult. I'm skipping it. Never swallowed gum is the end. If you were a kid, maybe I'd be like, yeah, let's hear about how this gum, like, and how confused you were. I don't want to hear about your adult ass.
What?
Grabble says, it was a chilly winter day. My youngest stepbrother and I had gotten done sledding and decided that the one and only thing we wanted in the world was to have warm feet. Naturally, this meant we came up with a genius plan to microwave our socks. We got a bit overzealous, and needless to say, the socks ended up burning and filling the whole kitchen with smoke. Our feet stayed cold.
Yeah. I hate these guys.
That's great. That's great.
I bet they smell like.
Kids are always fucking geniuses. Just microwave your fucking socks.
I mean, it kind of makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm. The microwave makes things warm.
Yeah. I hate this guy. Where's my bird? Help me out more. Help me, bird!
You have a little birdie.
Go!
Dead birdie.
Get him! You're such a
The
dick,
vignetting
bird.
is difficult to deal with, I imagine, too.
Yeah, it is.
The next one,
Get
Grapple
him.
says,
Get
when I was in 2nd grade, I had an arch nemesis. Me and this girl basically decided we hated each other, for reasons I can't even remember anymore. It got bad enough where our teacher decided that we needed to work out our issues, so she determined the best thing to do was to put us in a room together to talk it out. We literally sat there and stared at each other without speaking for 10 solid minutes. This is where Grabble had her first kiss. When she came back, we both said that we had worked out our issues even though no talking was done. That same girl ended up becoming one of my best friends a few years later, and we
What?
still keep in touch with each other to this
Oh my
day.
god, that's awesome. I love it. Fuck it.
Hop up here, bud. All right. One more Grabble story. I once was on a camping trip with 4 of my friends, and we were all sharing one tent. About halfway through the weekend, one of my friends found a creepy doll mask in the tent. Absolutely no one knew where it came from. I still don't know to this day, and every single person that was there swears that they didn't put it there. Don't trust those fuckers.
Did you say don't trust those fuckers, or did she?
She said that. To this day, nobody knows. None of them will fess up to it. Miss Fable says, so in high school, when my friends and I were 17...
Holy shit, Miss Fable, are you here?
Right? She would drop me off from school a few times since we lived close. One day she told me that she had to talk with one of her teachers before we go. She gave me her car keys and told me just to chill in her car. I put her car keys in my backpack and went off to drop off something at my locker, and after I was walking out, I was looking for the keys. Apparently something hit the alarm button, and I could see and hear her car alarm in the parking lot blaring, and everyone was laughing because no one was stopping it. I tried finding her keys, but for some reason I couldn't find it, so I was freaking out and started to cry. I called my friend, but she didn't answer, so I ran to an empty classroom and dumped out my backpack and finally found her keys. I was too embarrassed to go out and stop the alarm, so I just let it blare till it stopped.
Oh my god.
She called like 5 minutes later and asked where I was and why there are people laughing around her. I told her I don't know, but I was talking to someone in the hallway and I'd be there in a sec. Miss Fable has another car story. When I got my first car when I was 17, I was super cautious in getting into an accident or something.
Wait, what? Can you repeat
She was
that?
cautious about getting into an accident or something when
Okay.
she was 17 and she got her car. One day I drove to the grocery store to pick up some things, and when I was opening my car, I tapped the car door next to me and freaked out. I thought I'd scratched a dent to the other person's car and started to cry. I called my dad. You know, yeah, like even though you're 17, I'll accept these as like childhood stories because you're crying like a baby in all of them. I called my dad and told him what happened and what should I do. He asked me to text him a picture of their car door, and when he saw them, he said, "I don't see anything on it. You can stop crying." I was so embarrassed, crying in the middle of the parking lot, so I just left home. What? So you just left home? That was the day you moved out? I still cry all the time, she says.
I was gonna say that. I was like, I feel like Miss Fable could then tell stories for her entire life.
Cybearman says, I've locked myself out of my house many times. One time when I was 12, my friend and I left my house to get some snacks and realized we were locked out when we got back. My big brain idea was then to walk a couple blocks and convince my 5'2", 70-year-old grandma to fit through the front window.
Grandma!
She got one leg in through fine, but we literally had to shove her other leg up through the window. After that, whenever we had a family get-together, she would bring it up and ask me to get something for her.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's
You
so
had to get
funny.
grandma to go through to unlock your house for you? What, how is, wait, what? Like, really?
Remember crawling through your families?
Yeah, I'd had to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
But how is it that a 12-year-old can do that when a grandmother can, but a 12-year-old can't? Climb up through the window?
Maybe they were bigger than their grandma.
Be careful with your grandmas, man.
Respect, yo.
Don't shove them through windows.
I'm like pretty impressed that she was willing to do it though.
An awkward first date story. My first date was when I was 14. Oh, that's a good way to spark your first dates, guys. Those are good stories. Or just dating
Oh my god, I have a
escapades
couple.
when you're young.
Yeah.
Young dating stories. My first date was when I was 14, and this guy asked me to go to the movies. The movie theater was an outdoor mall, and before the movie, we decided to walk around. The conversations were really short and awkward, and I had no idea what was up with him. Cut to us watching the movie, and halfway through, he booked it out of the theater, and I was so confused. I went out to see what happened, and apparently he had vomited all over the theater floor. He didn't talk to me for half a year later after that.
Why did you make him vomit?
Yeah, what the fuck?
What did you do to him?
What the fuck did you do?
No, for real, why did he vomit though?
Probably like something unrelated, like food poisoning or the flu, and he just couldn't.
Is this stupid kid and
couldn't excuse himself from the night.
Yeah.
Even though he was nauseous.
Oh.
What's one of your embarrassing
He was
ones,
sick?
Becky?
Okay, so I was.
Why do I know this is gonna be embarrassing for the guy, not her?
Well, it was more just like I was dating this guy, but in grade 9, but I was really embarrassed and didn't want my family to know.
Mm-hmm.
And then
What guy?
his name was Jeff. I don't know. He lived at the
his
beach.
last name? Huh. Probably not from our school. Because you were against that.
He was from our school.
Oh.
I wasn't against it until after this happened. Because
Jeff Parks, says Davo.
it was Jeff Park. No, so I was always really embarrassed with dating and stuff because my family would make fun of me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, tease. But he kept showing up on his fucking snowmobile to my house. And then I had to, like, kind of, like, tell him to leave.
Uh-huh.
But it was like I had to, like, just make up stories about why he had to leave. Like, I don't know why I couldn't just tell him. I mean, what would I tell him? I'm embarrassed about you? Yeah, so that was kind of it. But also, I guess maybe another bad story about him was my sister and I pretended that mom was having a baby once because I didn't want to talk to him on the phone anymore. And then the next day at school, he was like, "Your mom had a baby?" And I was like, "No." What a fucking asshole! Who does those things?
Girls.
Like, yeah, and my sister and I thought it was like fucking hilarious. But like, and I didn't think about the repercussions. Like the next day, I would have to go to school and like explain the situation. Like, no. Yeah, girls are dicks. Oh, also, when I was in grade 7 and I was dating this guy, I decided I didn't want to date him anymore. I might have told this on the show, but I didn't want to be the one to break up with him because stupid kids. So I made him break up with me through my friends. And then we started dating again in grade 9. And his mom was like, I do not want you dating this girl because of what she did to you in grade 7. I was
fucking
a dick.
girls, man.
Yeah, like
Girls are the worst.
Fuck? And then I had to like really, like, you know, be a good girl because we ended up dating like all through high school. But I had to like convince his family that.
Oh, it was him.
Yeah, I had to convince his family that I was like worth the second chance.
Jesus Christ.
Like, don't hate this little bitch.
Next up, from our community. Nerd in Can says, I don't remember the specifics of this story because I was really young, but my family used to go to the carnival a lot. And this one time I was in a house of mirrors with my grandma, and at some point we got separated and eventually found her. So I ran to her. Wait, what's going on here?
Oh no, did you run into mirrors?
I got knocked around because I ran face first into a mirror. Who were you running to?
Their grandma.
Oh, with my grandma at some point. Oh, okay, sorry, I lost my train of thought there on that one. It was a simple story and I should have followed it. He had to run to his grandma and smacked right into a mirror. Classic. They really polish those things. In Chile, Christmas is celebrated on December the 24th. Oh, you get presents early. Summer times for us. The warm night is perfect excuse to open gifts at midnight without having to wait till the next morning. For this to work, Santa Claus has to arrive after dinner and around midnight, so the children are always asked to walk the streets of the neighborhood in search for the reindeers, falling presents, or some shooting stars.
Aww,
My parents
cute.
stay at home tidying up the dining room or doing the dishes to arrange the gifts on the tree. In my case, I celebrated Christmas with my older sister and 2 cousins. I am 6 years younger than my older cousin. When I was 5 years old on those walks around the neighborhood looking for Santa, my older cousin, spoiler alert, that said that Santa doesn't exist and that those who brought the gifts were our parents. She even sneakily showed us how our parents hide the presents.
What?
After that, this raw truth was not disappointing in my mind. It made perfect sense. The problem was, at 5, spoiling it for a fucking 5-year-old?
Awful.
That's like your last
dick.
chance at magic.
Yeah.
Fucking piece of shit.
Why would she tell you like that? Yeah, for real. Also, fuck all y'all, Santa's real.
The problem was that at 5 years old, I came to my neighborhood to tell the children the truth, but many did not believe me.
Good.
And even an older friend punched me in the shoulder, accusing me of being a liar. That's what you get, man.
Yeah.
Without learning my lesson, the next December, now I have 6. I'm 6. Okay. I did the same thing with my classmates. This time, the show ends with a very serious conversation with my teacher. She made me understand that what I said was truth, but it was a secret, and that I was a privileged kid who knows it, and as a secret, I must not tell it to anybody. I never revealed the secret again. Well, until now.
Did they write until now, or did you say that?
It says until they said until now.
Man, there is someone in my family who believed in like the North Pole Santa for a very long time, and we eventually had to tell them like.
For too long. So what grade? Oh.
It was like late.
That's, well, that's just a cognitive dissonance then. That's a refusal to accept reality.
Maybe.
Ouch.
But I mean,
I mean,
they kept the magic alive for their younger siblings.
people believe in fucking magic god, so. Shelby Drew, 405. When I was 6, my grandmother and I had a big swing that was like a couch. My grandmother and my great-grandfather were gonna do some work in our backyard. Wow, your great-grandfather.
Damn.
So I was on the swing watching them work when I was like, you know what would be cool? Seeing how hard I could swing. Turns out if you swing too much, the whole thing will flip over, right over an anthill. My grandmother
shit.
and I spent the rest of the day swatting ants off me and crying. I'm picturing your grandma crying too. I hate ants with a passion to this day.
Yeah. Especially if they're like fire ants. Fire ants are the fucking worst. Ugh, this one's swinging way too long. Get me out of here.
Empress. Cyberman says, when I was 7, Mom and I were at a local pumpkin barn that had a corn maze and a haunted house. The owners knew my mom, so we were standing around talking to them for a while. Eventually, my mom and I went through the haunted house. What we didn't know is that one of the owners was now waiting for us in a scarecrow costume near the exit. When we came out of the exit, he jumped out at us and I nearly pissed my pants.
Yeah. That's a good one.
I think I ran off into a corner and was crying.
Yes. Perfect.
So they all had to calm me down. Every year after that, when we went to get pumpkins, I would stay really far from the guy who scared us.
Oh my god, I love that one. It's so like innocent and traumatizing. And I can picture myself in that situation. Especially the crying and almost peeing your pants part.
I like the quiet says Halloween must be fun. It sounds fun. Wait a minute.
They don't have.
In Australia, you don't have. Holy fuck! What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's messed up.
I'm so sorry.
How have Australians not adopted it?
Yeah, seriously.
You guys can consume Western culture as much as anybody else. How can you grow up with all those Halloween movies? All those movies that have Halloween scenes in them, even if they're not a Halloween movie. All these like tales of Halloween, and now with social media, constant like an onslaught of Halloween costumes every October. How is Australia not joined in? Get it together. Even fucking Japan's doing it. They're slowly getting it. Like every year, it gets more intense. The Halloweenness here.
Although, guys, in Japan, so today it's the 31st, and for at least 5 days, Halloween decorations have been down. Because
Yeah. Well, that might owe to the fact that the events haven't been happening.
that's true.
If the events were still
Christmas-
going ahead, they might be still keeping up the decorations.
Yes, generally it's the weekend before the 31st that they have events. So this year it might have actually been on the 31st.
It would have been a great year
It
for
would have been
that. There would have
awesome.
been an incredible costume. Like they do costume contests for adults and kids here, usually in public areas, like where you can go see it. And like, yeah, kids are really starting to get into it here. I think it'll be. I'm gonna put a prediction on it. I say in,
Oh shit, I've never done that before.
let's say 5 years, you're gonna see actual trick or treating.
They trick or treat in arcades.
Yeah,
and
they go to-
Broadways, like malls.
They go to the arcade areas.
Ah, that's when you do it. Okay.
That's arcade in the sense of outdoor mall.
Yeah, not like video game arcades.
Yeah, they trick or treat there in some isolated events.
Our neighbor has
Business
asked me
trick-or-treating.
when Halloween was, like the day of, like what is the actual day of Halloween? Like they don't
He's
know
an
that
older guy. He
day
doesn't.
here.
Yeah.
Because the 31st, like shit is down.
Yeah.
Time for Christmas.
They're trying to make it happen, but a lot don't care. That's so
Australia?
weird. We had a family who lived next door, had 7 kids. They never went out trick-or-treating.
In Australia or somewhere
It's
else?
considered an American holiday. Canadians don't consider it American. Are people resistant to it because they're stubborn and they don't want to be like American? Because, like, don't they trick-or-treat in... Do you guys do it in the UK?
It's Irish, man. Really? It started in Ireland.
That's awesome. And they do it in the UK, says Davo. Yeah, you fucking Australians gotta stop being stubborn. It's one of the most fun holidays of the year. It's not even originally. I could see if it was like a resisting Christmas or something because your country's not religious or something. But like Halloween, come on.
Poor Quiet. She's like, man.
It's not your fault, Quiet.
Yeah.
It's just. Yeah. Anyways, Hector IZ3 says, one time me and my friends were going to a buddy's house. This was my first introduction to him, and I really wanted to make good first impressions. We went to the mall, and we came walking back to his apartment. He lives in a gated community. Ooh, you gotta make good buddies with that guy.
Yeah, dude. Bet he's got a bidet.
Yeah. One of my friends jumps over a gate by stepping on a water pipe. Oh, okay. He didn't open the door for us, so I thought, hey, I can do that too. I can jump over the gate and open the doors for my pals, no problem. I take the first step of the water pipe and immediately explodes with water due to my weight. I wasn't a thin kid. Dead honest, it was like seeing a geyser. I was soaked with water, had to rush back to his place, and his mother was wondering what happened. I tried to apologize, but my friend told me to keep quiet.
Yeah?
To this day, no one knew what happened to the water pipe and who caused it. So much for a first impression. P.S. We're still friends, and we laugh about it to this day. Ah, this is gonna be a good one.
Uh-oh.
Russian story, da.
Ooh.
In the 90s, I was common girl for girls to have diaries. That you can guess who it is.
Yes.
Okay.
It
Cool,
sounds
Nara.
exactly like her.
Yeah. Diaries that you would pass to your friends to sign. There were some questions like, what's your favorite color? Or what your favorite book is? My friend had one and I filled it. One question was, what's your favorite food? And I said, herring.
Oh God, what is it?
It's not better than pickle juice. Herring in an overcoat.
What? I love you, Cool Nara.
It's this weird Russian dish with salted herring and beets.
Oh my God, I love you.
Herring in overcoat. I was a weird child, so I legitimately loved it, and I still do. Months later, this friend invited me to her birthday party.
Oh my God.
We actually share birthdays. It was a fun party. And I was looking to eating the snack and the cake. Did you write this on purpose? Oh wait, oh no, she properly did it grammatically. It just sounded looking forward to eating the snack and the cake.
Oh shit, I wanna, wait.
Suddenly my friend's mom comes out, holding the herring and in an overcoat dish. It's your birthday too, so I make something for you. I heard this is your favorite dish, says the mom.
Oh, that's so sweet.
She puts the entire giant fish in front of me and gives me a spoon. I made this just for you. Eat it. I loved when my mom made this dish, but this one looks horrible. It was garnished by a herring head, which I thought was so gross. Everyone at the party was staring at me, waiting for me to eat the damn fish. My mom was staring too, smiling. I did not want to be rude to my friend's mom, so I say, thank you, and start eating. It was not too bad, but not too great either. I ate as much as I could until my mom seemed happy. The worst part was that it made me so full that I could barely eat birthday cake. I still did though. Delicious pickle juice birthday cake.
Speed up.
Oh, that's a great story.
That is amazing. Any story from Russia is worth 10 normal.
Sorry, everyone else.
The cake did not have hair. Thank
Oh,
goodness. All right. The next one is Second City Saint. So, this story is less traumatizing for me, but very traumatizing for my parents at the time, and I can remember and I can still remember that night. During a large storm one night, I woke up scared. I was 4 years old at the time. I went into my parents' room, but I did not want to wake them, so instead I sat in their closet. The storm later progressed to the point where a tornado,
Oh shit.
to the point of a tornado, my parents woke up. They rushed to get my brothers downstairs, and my mother went to get me. Of course, I was nowhere to be found.
Oh my god.
This led to an hour search for me, and the police were even called. My brothers were known for doing
I
stupid
take it.
things, so after the police were called, they began interrogating my brothers as if they were James Bond captured on a table with a laser. I eventually left the closet after waking up from a short nap, and my parents were so relieved, until they found out that I was just in their closet. It must have been one of the worst times of their lives. I thought it was
yeah.
hilarious. Still do. Okay, Deacon.
Oh, that's good stuff.
That's definitely a Deacon move.
Guys, how do we pull up the map on here? There. Oh shit. Oh, I can't see it. Whatever.
Hey guys, longtime viewer and first time poster. Always enjoyed your show and have been saving this story for this.
Oh, fine.
And this is Ink and Sketch. When I was in kindergarten, I had to go to the bathroom. As soon as I sat down on the seat, the fire alarm went off, and which scared the hell out of me. I don't think my teachers knew I was in there and heard all my classmates lining up and making their way out. Not wanting to be left behind, I ran out of the stall with my shorts around my ankles, yelling, not wanting to be burned in the fire. This is delicious. They had to calm me down, explaining to me that it was just a drill. Fire alarms still freak me out to this day.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That is amazing. That's scary. You're new, you don't know.
I mean, it's great. You raise kids to want them to be cautious for their own mortality, right? But in doing so, you convince them that the world is this place where, like, there's like a 50-50 chance you die before your 6th birthday.
Yeah.
Like, kids are convinced that they have to absolutely watch out. No one's watching out for them but them.
Yeah.
So you're always cautious. All right. On my 12th birthday, my friend, my nephew, and my mom went to the next town over for my birthday. It was uneventful till we stopped to eat at a Chinese buffet where my friend proceeded to eat more. Then, all of us halfway through eating this plate of California rolls, he stops eating and bends his head down and projectile vomits all over the floor next to me and keeps on puking for a good 30 to 45 seconds. And I was at a distance looking at him embarrassed as hell and lost all appetite.
Yeah.
We ended up, after he was done
do in
puking.
a restaurant if that happens? Like, Jesus. Normally I'd take care of all that later.
We paid the bill and left back home with trauma on how could my friend eat that much, as well as how he was able to throw up more than what he ate.
God.
You know, I was just thinking Kulnara. Kulnara thought she would die because of acid rain.
Yep, me too.
Every kid did.
Yeah, 100%.
Adults do not know what they do to kids when
Yeah.
they talk about subjects sometimes.
When it would rain, we would be like, is it safe to be killed in this, or is it gonna kill me?
And no adult was smart enough or like aware enough, probably just not smart enough, probably not like educated enough to tell kids it's not acid rain, like it's acidic rain. It's got a pH imbalance and it's concerning to environmentalists because it's a trend. It's not going to burn through your clothes. You're never endangering the rain.
Yeah, like literally, until you just said that, I didn't really understand acid rain.
All it is a pH imbalance in the rain that is an indicator of chemicals in the air. That it's not a good thing, but it's not gonna burn you. But kids thought it would. We totally thought it would because we knew acid from one place.
Yeah, batteries, don't lick them.
From Roger Rabbit and the guy melting in the vat at the end.
Yeah.
And or Jack Nicholson at the beginning of Batman melting in a vat of acid.
Of course.
And or any cartoon where a vat of acid is presented like Itchy and Scratchy. That's acid.
That's in a rain? And my mom wants us to go out and wash our hair in it? Shit, Mom.
Kulnara, seriously, if you can, like, even if you can't find more of your own stories, ask old Russian friends if they can, like, get some together, because I want to hear more Russian stories. When I was back in primary school, says Freako, my dog got out of the yard and ran into somebody else's backyard. I worked up the courage to knock on the front door to ask them to check the backyard for my dog. A topless old man appeared at the door. My eyes immediately focused on his extremely long nipples. Extremely, all caps, long nipples. Once I found my dog, I could not think of anything else. Believe me, they were long. That's it. Fucked him up to this day.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here.
It was frightening, says Freaka. I imagine. Acid Silver says, one night when I was in 6th grade, I had stayed up so late preparing for a group presentation in class. The next day, when I was woken up for school that day, I didn't realize while I had worn a jacket, I had completely forgotten to put a shirt on underneath. This is 6th grade? So when my group got up to the front of the class to give our presentation, I began taking off my jacket because of how hot it had gotten, inadvertently flashing my chest to my entire class before I quickly zipped up my jacket. While my teacher didn't realize what had happened, a good number of classmates did and proceeded to make fun of me for the rest of the class period. The worst part was that it was an especially hot day, so I ended up sweating like a pig for the rest of the day, school day, because of the jacket. That's some absent-mindedness that sends you to school in a jacket but not a shirt.
Well,
Did this happen to you?
Once my sister didn't wear underwear to school because my older sister didn't put any out for her.
Oh my god.
And then she did wheelbarrow races.
Man. What?
Yep.
Seriously? In a skirt?
Yep.
Oh my god. From what age?
She was in like kindergarten.
Oh my god. Kids.
Also, where was my mom? Like, why is my sister dressing my other sister?
I don't know, kudos to your mom. Like, the dream if you have multiple kids is to have girls. They fucking take care of each other. You would never trust boys.
Well, apparently you shouldn't trust girls either.
Whatever.
I think my mom was working. That's why.
I got underwear. Boys would, like, forget food and
Shirts?
water.
Also? Yeah.
Would forget that fire burns things. My brother's story with permission. Says Ian Good. Well, I don't give a fuck if you got permission. I don't know you. Nobody knows you or your brother. Everybody out there, you have full permission from me to share embarrassing family stories.
What? You're so harsh.
Nobody knows. I want the stories, and I don't want you to getting permission.
Jesus.
My brother's story with permission. While not awake for it, he was found hanging off the side of his top bunk in the night, screaming in his sleep. When our parents tried to ask him what was wrong, in his sleep, he said he was trying to kill his cat.
Oh.
He remembered nothing about it the next morning.
Aww.
I guess he didn't want to kill his cat?
Yeah.
Second story related to sleep. I have a couple stories told to me of sleepwalking when I was a kid. One story I know of, I apparently walked into my parents' room, waking them up. They watched me go into the closet and asked me what I was doing. My response was going to the bathroom.
Oh no!
Sounds about right.
Oh, that sucks.
Case 16 says, in grade 7, I was taking pre-calculus for summer school.
Holy shit, in grade 7? Summer school? Calculus? This is already a horror story.
Yeah, what? Taking pre-calculus in summer school where we used T183 plus calculators. I had Lotus, Turbo, Challenge, Tetris, and the link cable. Oh, because those calculators had games on them?
Whoa, shit.
This allowed me to give everyone games. Within a week, I ran underground racing and Tetris tournaments as the teacher regularly turned his back on us to write on the chalkboard. I think I got the course canceled because I heard the class failure rate went from 15% to 70%.
Oh my god!
So it seemed infeasible to be condensed. As an asshole, I regret nothing. What is this fucking place anyways, though?
Seriously, that's evil.
Calculus in that grade.
Which one?
In grade 4, Hector IZ3 says, I was waiting for class to start in the morning. I was just in thinking in my mind, like stuck in my head.
Wait,
Okay,
what was the
they were
beginning
stuck
of
in
this?
their head. In grade 4, they were stuck in their head, in the zone. When a girl walks up to me and says, hey, my friend likes you, because I was too focused on my mind stuck, all I said was, oh, okay, and went back to staring into the void. That was my mind. She walks back to her group, and all of them start laughing. To this day, I have no idea if it was for real or a prank I dodged. I mean, it's the appropriate response.
Yeah.
Silent Judger. When I was in 8th grade, I mean, yeah. How do you give advice to a young boy to deal with girls other than it's all a game to them, son? It's all a game to them.
Yeah. Fuck. God.
Boys are way more prone, I think, to love sickness than girls who are just cold, calculating. All right, so Silent Judger says, when I was in 8th grade, I had to stay after school for some reason. I can't remember. My English teacher offered me a ride home. She mistook my directions and dropped me off at the corner of my street instead of my house. Not bothering to correct her, I got out of the car, waved goodbye, and walked the rest of the way. Later that night, she called my house and, after talking to my mom, found out what had happened. The next day, she did not hesitate to call me out on it in the middle of class. Huh? I'm missing the embarrassing part.
Sounds like a dickhead teacher.
Shelby Drew 405. I'm sorry, I'm just not seeing what's embarrassing.
I guess just the fact that they were too embarrassed to tell where they actually lived, you know?
Shelby Drew 405 says, I guess, yeah, the teacher calling you out in class for what, though? Like,
And also the fact
I'm
that
just
it,
picturing this scenario. It's like, I dropped you off in the wrong spot, and I know now. You tried to play it cool.
maybe it was embarrassing because they got a ride home with the teacher.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Shelby Drew 405 says, when I was in third grade, a girl in my class, her last name was Shelby. This confused me sometimes
Yeah, I'll bet.
because it's Shelby. One day the principal came into our classroom and said she needed to speak to first name Shelby. I didn't hear the first part, so I got up. Oh, so they said, like, Sherry Shelby. He came in and said.
Oh, okay. Got
And
it.
I didn't hear the first part, so I got up. My teacher then raised her voice at me and said, "Not you, Shelby!" Teachers are fucking way too wound up,
Jesus.
man. I swear to God, almost
Not
all
all of
teachers
them.
are fucked up.
Yeah.
So I sat down. I could hear a few kids laugh, and I started to cry. Later that day, my grandmother picked me up from school, and I told her about it, and she consoled me with ice cream.
Aw,
I had the
yeah.
same teacher in the 6th grade, and she picked me for spelling bee, which I wasn't very good at spelling. I lost hard and felt embarrassed. I swear she did it because she didn't like me. Yeah, it's likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, seriously, teachers, I say this every year, they got a lot of pent-up issues from their past. It's probably why they became a teacher. I'm not saying all teachers, but I think a lot of them are like this. They have repressed old issues that could probably be like, fill an encyclopedia for a show like this.
Yeah.
And they take it out on kids for the rest of their career. I swear to God.
But then there's also like tons of really good teachers that.
I've had a few.
Yeah.
Those
Great
ones,
things.
those ones stand out as paragons. They change your life. They
Yeah,
define
yeah,
you.
Yeah.
I hope everybody had one of those shining, perfect teachers that
Yeah.
helped them like have an actualization. But gosh, good lord. Alpha 66, 3rd grade, Christmas Day. Sorry for the wrong holiday. Oh, that's okay. I'll accept all holidays. It's just bonus points.
My teacher was my mommy.
Halloween.
Sorry. Yes.
My mom told me I couldn't open my present until I come back home to the mall and do some shopping. My pent-up need to unwrap my gift grew by the second. The minute I got home, I couldn't be stopped no more. So I yanked off my heavy-ass snow boots and threw them in the shoe closet. I hear a loud smash. Turns out my parents hid my present. A miniature pinball machine in the closet for me to hunt down. I could have had a pinball machine. I didn't get a pinball machine.
Oh, damn, dude. That sucks. That's why you gotta treat your stuff with respect.
All you turbo teachers are probably really good.
Yeah. And also my family, right? My family's full of really good teachers.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. All right. Sandwich Man says, "Yay! My first story on the show."
Yay.
Nope. Skittly says, "Hey butts, I'm back." Saw Frico in the chat, so I had to do it.
Wait, whose are you reading?
I'll go back. Sandwich Man says, "When I was 6 years old, I was playing tag with some girls at my babysitter's house, and I was pretty slow, and the girls were laughing at me because I couldn't keep up with them. Then I corner one of them and had my arms out ready to tag her. What I didn't know was she was inside my babysitter's house and was behind a very clean window. My 6-year-old mind didn't noted it because I wanted to tag her. So I ran as fast as I can and crashed through the window.
Oh my god.
Cutting my arms badly. What the
Holy
fuck year was
shit.
this? What
That
kind of a
shit
place
was
has
not
a
tempered.
window that can be ran through that isn't
By a
fucking
6-year-old?
ran through by a 6-year-old?
Holy shit.
And my babysitters grabbed one of her socks to wrap them so I wouldn't lose blood, then took me to the hospital. Thankfully, I was all right, and now I have scars on both my arms
Holy
that
shit.
when people see it, look like I tried to cut myself. To this day, I'm still embarrassed that I never got to tag that girl. Seriously, what? I want to know what year it was, because I don't know, even when I grew up, like, in the fucking early 80s when I was...
It's like around.
Or late 80s when I was 6. I feel like all
They're
floor
younger than
windows
us.
would have been... Yeah, well then that makes it even more confusing. What kind of a sliding window door isn't
27.
thick enough to withstand the running of a 6-year-old?
That's wild.
That's F up. Older buildings don't have floor fucking windows. Unless you're like in some sort of a weird ass mansion or some shit. Like that wasn't a trend until like sliding door and whatever.
Jessica's really passionate.
Well, I'm really passionate about like people almost killing 6-year-olds because of like some fucked up building codes. Skidley says, "Hey butts, I'm back. Saw Freako in the chat, so I had to do it. I've been watching VGA since I was 14 and used to be pretty active on the forums when the old website was still up. One afternoon, I was on Rule 34 site for porn because I was a bad kid. One of the artists on it had a pretty familiar avatar. Racking my brain to figure out where I'd seen it before, I checked the VGA forums, and that's how I found out that Freako draws porn. Weird porn. I do like porn, though, so it all worked out."
I like it.
That's pretty funny.
Sandwich man, sorry, I didn't mean to get fresh that riled up. Maybe you should have skipped this story. That's really funny.
Azur says, oh no, Hector IZ3 has another one. One time when I was 14, I ordered a pizza and breadsticks from this new pizza joint. I get back home and I'm just enjoying this pizza and breadsticks. I decided to take a nap and I'm woken up and I wanted to get some more breadsticks. But I was super tired and my eyes were barely open. I take a bite of the breadsticks, except it tasted a bit different, a little spicy, but I didn't mind. At the same time, I start feeling a bit sweaty and itchy, but again, no cause for alarm. I didn't realize there were ants all over the bag of breadsticks until halfway.
Fuck no.
I'm halfway done in the second breadstick. My sister just watched the whole thing without telling me. To this day, I'm still mad at her for that. What? Man, I'm glad I didn't grow up in a place where ants were that dangerous.
Yeah, right?
Jeez. Skidley says, "Thanks for the weird porn, Freako." Freako says, "Oh no." Freako, I think that's deserving of a free commission for Skidley. She's a longtime fan. Azur says, one time in high school, we were grouping up in one of my classes, and we had to come up with a skit and act it out in front of the class. It was me and two of my classmates. The best we could come up with was one of my parents was pretending he got shot and fell to the floor, and my other partner, who was playing a random stranger, was consoling him as he was dying. My job was to narrate. When I had to narrate that Krabs, the dying guy, was dying, I couldn't take it anymore and started laughing so loud in the middle of the class that I couldn't finish my line. Everyone was staring at me and no one else was laughing.
Oh,
It was a serious play, not a funny play.
That sucks. Nerves get to you, man.
How old are you? How old are they now? Oh no, says Freako. Skidley says 22. Freako says, thank God, haha. Well, when was this?
Skidley was 14.
14, when, okay, wow.
But did mention that they were a bad kid.
Bad kids, only bad kids look at porn at 14.
Yep.
All right. PDC Wu-Tang says, when I was in 9th or 10th grade, wait, did I skip one? No. When I was in 9th or 10th grade, I worked for my cousin packing and boxing products he'd sell on eBay. He lived next door to me, and that's where the inventory was kept as well. One day, I went over there to do some work, and he was on a date. They were watching a movie. When I finished doing my work upstairs, I came back down and I saw they were watching a movie I liked for some reason. I thought, hey, let me sit to watch it too. After 5 to 10 minutes, I looked to my left and saw my cousin waving violently for me to get out of the house. I just went, oh, and ran out of the house. I felt pretty dumb.
Oh shoot, sorry. I skipped that.
That's funny.
Oh!
Oh! Need more water. Did you have your own there?
Yes, I do. And I need some too.
How's the run going?
I think I'm on like my third one. Sandwich man. About my story, it was a window next to the door and I thought at the time it was open. Boy, was I wrong. Oh, here. You can keep this over there. Are there still lots of stories?
Yeah.
Holy cow, you guys. Lots of trauma up in town.
Ocean Storm's short story here is named Why I Hate Peter Pan. When I was about 5, I went to Disney World. I waited for the characters in line with a bunch of other kids to see Peter Pan. He was my favorite character at the time, and I couldn't wait to meet him. When I got my turn to meet him, I went up and he asked my name. However, due to my speech impediment at the time, my name, Tiffany, did not come out clearly. When Peter Pan heard me, he said, "Tickany? Tickany? That's a weird name," and he laughed at me. I tried to correct him that my name was Tiffany and that I had a speech problem, but he continually danced around me singing, "Tickany, Tickany." Meanwhile, all the other kids were waiting in line, joined in with Peter Pan, and were laughing at me. I quickly got my picture and autograph from Peter Pan and ran over to the parents section. Since it was a good distance away, my mom hadn't heard Peter Pan or the children. I immediately started crying to my mom that Peter Pan had made fun of my speech problem, and that was just as mean as the kids at my school. My mom was extremely angry that this would occur at Disney World and immediately complained to the nearby staff about Peter Pan.
Good.
And then later told the story to management.
Good, Mom.
When we returned from our Disney vacation, my mom followed up with her complaint. A couple of weeks later, we received a package from Disney with free merchandise in it. Also in the package was a staged picture of Peter Pan with a signed message saying he was sorry. However, the problem with the picture was that the actor dressed as Peter Pan in the photo was not the actor that had taunted me. So my mom had to follow up with Disney again to make sure they didn't discipline or fire the wrong Peter Pan. Never did find out about that though. Meanwhile, from that day forward, I held a deep hatred for Peter Pan, but I did like the free merchandise.
Wow.
And
good, you have a very good mom.
good mom, yeah. What? Yeah, that's fucked up. Lame. Trauma for my childhood mind, says Ian Kidd.
Honestly, fuck Peter Pan.
Well, really, he's the worst. We were in part of a homeschool group. My parents getting their homeschool kids together for
Who is
group
this?
activities and classes, says Ian Kidd.
Okay.
The moment where a bunch of other homeschool parents are trying to like pretend their kids are normal, get them together to have normal interactions. Mine has started scrawling things on the walls. Does yours do that too? One time we had a big playground event planned. All the homeschool families come to the park and hanging out. We got there and I was so eager to go play with the other kids. I could see from the car. I rushed over and I was ready to play with my friends when I realized I didn't recognize anyone. Our event was canceled and my family was unaware. The local school had a similar event in place. I suddenly felt super alone in a crowd of kids. The perils of homeschooling.
Ben was homeschooled. He came out.
Half and half.
Ben.
Half and half homeschooled. He was on again, off again homeschooled.
Right. Right, because he went to school with you, and he went to high school with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder why they did that.
I think by their admission, his parents were like kind of, they got a little evangelical, maybe not that far, but they were like a part of a church that now they think was like, that was lame.
I'm wondering if it had something to do with his dyslexia. If like maybe
Could have
the
had a part of it. I mean, the
wasn't
kid is an
doing
idiot,
a
like,
good job.
and our school system is horrible.
Yeah.
So, like, how do you make it so that Ben doesn't go full-blown Ben?
Yeah.
You still went full-blown Ben.
Sure did.
Mr. Robin says, discovery the internet. This story takes place in the 2000 to 2010 era. When I was about 10 years old, I think, I discovered porno videos on the internet. By that time, I didn't know about masturbation. Only guys kiss girls' butts from the video I watched. One day, I went to school and saw a cute girl teacher around her 20s.
Oh my god, did you try to kiss her butt?
That's
Yeah,
tough.
man.
At that point, I didn't want to get in trouble for sexual harassment. Whoa, you didn't know about porno videos, but you knew about sexual harassment.
Wow.
My parents taught me well. Not that well. Because your first encounter with a porno video is you thinking that sex is kissing girls' butts. So the only thing I could come up with was farting in her face.
What? No. No good.
She looked at me strangely and funny while I thought to myself tonight I'm getting late. Looking back at it, it was the strangest thing I ever did. So many questions. How did you get the height to fart in a 20-year-old teacher's face when you're 10?
Maybe they were sitting. The teacher was sitting.
You'd still have to get up on a chair. The height difference doesn't make any sense. Weird kids, man. Alright, Kulnara says, yay! This one's about Russian food. They're all about Russian food, Kulnara. There hasn't been a single one that wasn't.
I love it.
When I was in kindergarten, I had to eat a lot of gross food. Russian food. The teachers were mean and would make the kids finish their meals. If they didn't, the teachers would not let them get up from the table and play. Poor kids would sit there for an hour or so, staring at their food until they were let out eventually. The food was milk soup. I called it famine soup because that's probably what you would eat if there was a famine.
She says this one's kind of weird.
It was milk with some boiled noodles in it, with some butter. It was so absolutely disgusting.
Sounds delicious.
I mean, I'm gonna guess it was like curdled milk or something because it's Russia. Probably milk mixed with pickle juice.
Yeah.
The worst was the smell of boiling milk, and they would make the soup. When they would make the soup, to this day I can't stand the smell and taste of milk. I'm gonna assume there's something else going on with that milk.
Well, I mean, it does sound sort of disgusting. Milk with noodles.
I mean, that's
just like milk. Milk. Like
just
cereal.
milk.
Yeah. It's boiled milk with noodles. Yuck.
I still love it. Like, seriously. A weak story from Russia is like... during second grade in the library, the heavy-set teacher in a low-cut top would lean over a kid's head's table and help with their work. Jesus. The teacher leaned over the kid opposite side of the table from me. If you've ever seen Miss Chokes on Dick from South Park, it's not a view I wanted to see from my teacher. Oh, that is... Oh. Oh. Too bad. Between that and your old neighbor's long nipples. Taking care of your cat, Mr. Robin says. When I was 12 years old, my mom got a cat, 6 to 12 months old cat. 1 month passes and our cat gets more comfortable with his new home. However, since our family only owned a dog before and not a cat, we didn't know a lot of things. One day I got home from school, took my socks off and walked around our apartment until I step inside, poop, and screams into tears. My cat decided to poop outside the litter box. I called my mom. Luckily, she had only 10 minutes left of her work to come and help me. When she arrived, she was laughing while I was in tears. After that day, I knew to clean the litter box often and not to give our cat too much food. Poor cat.
I think think it's so funny. Like, kids are so fucking useless.
Oh, kids are the worst.
You sat there for 10. Your mom was finished work in 10 minutes. You sat there with like.
Shit on your face?
Yeah.
Just like, no recourse for this.
Mom!
In the 7th grade, it was nearing Christmas time, and I offhandedly said to my group of friends that we should do Secret Santa without giving it much thought. Turns out, this is Acid Silver. Turns out that my friends liked the idea and thought we should do this on Christmas Day. I thought this was just idle chatter and not that they were being serious. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that they had actually gone through with the idea of Christmas. So when everyone gave out presents, I had nothing to give, and it made me feel like a huge asshole, especially since I was technically my idea in the first place.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, you're a jerk, man. Lino Bro says, this was posted earlier, but it was skipped over. Oh, did I? Oops. I got two, and they were kind of related to each other. Oh, okay. So when I was a kid, I can't remember the year, I went to my grandparents' house for Christmas. They had a wreath at the door that scared the crap out of me because it looks like a normal wreath until it opened its eyes and mouth, starting singing, and I was like, holy shit, that's damn scary. Similar thing happened when I played Spyro's Ripto's Rage in the stage of Fractured Hills. The trees and beehives and bushes pretty much did the same thing as the reef, but instead of singing, they had bees sent to sting me and the bushes charging to eat me. Because of those two events, I now have a fear of plants that don't have eyes until you get close to them. And they open them, and you're like, ah. I too have a fear of plants that don't have eyes until you get close and then they open them. I have that fear too. We share that fear. Neonte13. So I recently saw a video about Polaroid, and it reminded me of the old Polaroid trauma.
The old Polaroid trauma.
Luckily, I was an adult and I stumbled onto this picture, the picture no child should ever see of their parent.
Oh no, nuh-uh.
So relatively minimal scarring, I guess. Small miracles. Why is it relatively minimal scarring? I guess because you're not a child when it happens, so you can process it better?
Oh.
But when I was in 7th grade, I stayed over at my best friend's house, and he showed me an inappropriate Polaroid he'd found of his mom. Nice. And told me how he was planning to use it as blackmail if he ever got in trouble.
You bugger! Holy shit!
That's some conniving shit. I have to know, was she hot?
Yeah, I mean, like, that's a pretty important part of the story.
That's important. I still don't know what to make of that. Another time I stayed over, he put on Skinemax on his TV, and then I got blamed for looking at porn on his dad's computer when I was asleep. This is a porniful upbringing that kid had.
Man.
Oh, Neonte says no.
Oh, I'm
Ouch.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm really sorry. That could have been really fun.
That could have been great. Nerd in a Can says, one day I was in 4th grade. I was at phys ed and my stomach was hurting, so I sat down and decided if I farted it would feel better. So I did, and I pooped my pants.
Shit.
We were halfway through the day, so I thought to myself, it's okay, I can get through this.
Stupid kids.
But when we got back to class, I felt a sneeze coming on, and so I did, and I pooped my pants again.
Holy shit.
You might have been sick.
Yeah.
I shit my pants twice in one day, and I just acted like it didn't happen until I got home. Oh. Did I ever tell the story how I was like sick, but old enough to be embarrassed? Like I was sick. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that my mom knew that like lack of control of my bowels was a part of it. Neither did I until I was sleeping.
Oh no!
And it was just, just enough that like I would wake up and realize and I could rush down to complete, but like enough that I needed new underwear.
Oh.
and just being so embarrassed because it might have been old enough to be like embarrassed about it, like
Yeah.
maybe seven or something like that, and just being like, I have to handle this on my own. I can't let anybody know it happened, and I succeeded.
Wow.
I remember, like, just
Did you wash your own underwear?
I think I may have washed one pair and may have written off another because it happened twice in the same night. I even laid down grocery bags under my sheets just in case it happened a third time.
Really?
I even went out the front door to bury the one pair in the trash can
Oh.
as deep as I could so nobody would find it. So it was like, there was nobody finding out. And like, we had this old farmhouse with creaky stairs. I had to sneak back up and I'm feeling just shitty and sick. And I'm like,
just tell them
just
you're
do not
sick.
want to be embarrassed by being unable to control my bowels. Because I mean, that's like, you know, it's not something that happened frequently. It probably hadn't happened since I was like before I could remember or something. So, you know.
I was always.
Like every kid has diarrhea, but they can make it to the fucking toilet. Like that, this
Well,
was
no,
just to
not
me
always.
too much. Well, I didn't know. So I was also like, you know, a super like buttoned down, responsible kid. So I was like, I can handle this. I can fucking handle this. I'm gonna get through this. Nobody will know. And I think at the next morning, my mom was like, you know, you were going to the bathroom a lot last night. So she'd evidently heard that I was creeping down the stairs and coming back up.
Yeah.
But I don't think she was none the wiser. I'm pretty sure she wasn't. So
Little butt.
nobody knew that I pooped. To this day, I don't think my parents know that I actually pooped.
Yeah.
Success. Not embarrassed by that. Oh, she knew, says Kulinar. Nerd in a Can says, one day when I was in 5th grade, I was in phys ed and my stomach was hurting. Oh, that's the same one. Kulnara, not embarrassing, actually pretty awesome.
Cancelled.
But
Next.
it's Kulnara and it's Russian.
Okay.
They were showing Ghostbusters on TV one time. We didn't have many channels back then, so all my kids in the school watched Ghostbusters and talked about it next day. I had English language class that day. We were telling the teacher about our day in English. One kid said, I watched a movie on TV. The teacher asked what movie it was, and the kid was quiet. He knew the Russian title of this movie, Ghost Hunters, but did not know that it was English. This was an English class, so no Russian was allowed. The teacher then says to class, who knows what this movie is called in English? I stand up and yell, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters!
Oh my god.
I knew this because of the theme song. The teacher was so happy, she gave me an A. I'll accept small triumphs as a kid as well for these stories, especially if they're Halloween related.
Snap.
One of the best moments of my life. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! I've been picturing the whole class going, yeah! And like, Kulnar just like, duh, this is true.
Oh, my face hurts.
You know who's the ultimate English speaker in this class now. She got on the news for that. Shelby Drew 405 says, when I was 10, I was in a Snow White play. It was in this really shitty building that barely had air conditioning. I live in the south, so it gets extremely hot in the summer. One day before rehearsals, I was getting makeup on and I passed out apparently and hit my head on one of the marble tables. When I woke up, everyone was around me and they made me a sandwich. It was tasty. Anyway, they called up my grandmother and my uncle and both drove like hell to get there. My grandmother ended up backing up into a forklift in our backyard. Long story. She got there and immediately took me to the ER to get looked at. I was fine. I just didn't eat the past 2 days and it was too hot.
Holy crap.
Damn. License to kill. Oh, I see. Listens to kill. A quick one. I was in 4th grade. I thought I would be moving away because of my dad's work. So on Valentine's Day,
shit.
I wrote my crush a note with my love confession and asked her not to read it until next week. She read it immediately and told everyone I was heartbroken and made fun of about it. Then I did not move away for the next 2 years when my dad's work finally transferred him.
You're just a little romantic.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Little boys can be so romantic. Mm-hmm. The media tells them they should be, that they have to be. That's the one way to win hearts.
Yeah?
Be romantic.
Is that what media says?
Doesn't it?
I don't know.
Little boys, back me up. You grow up thinking that the way that you get the girl is by gestures.
I think that's true.
Not by being friends and like actually having a connection.
Oh.
It's like you do a gesture,
Right, yeah.
she'll be hopelessly in love.
I don't know how to romance.
Frico says, in high school, I was well into drawing weird porn. This is Frico, obviously. My mother found a sketch I made of Leela from Futurama in the garbage, and she chastised me for me saying that it was the kind of art offensive to women, and if I did it again, she would tell my dad, joke's on her, I draw boys now. Yeah, joke's on her.
That's an interesting take on it. Just saying that it's offensive to women.
Yeah, right?
I watched anime growing up. I just assumed you acted shy towards girls.
That's just how you do it? Just act shy. Frico says women don't like porn. Skittly says that when I was a little girl, the adults told me that boys made romantic gestures by picking on you. Also true.
Yeah.
Which is also why that fucking cousin needs his comeuppance
Oh.
that you just told me about.
Yeah.
You have a little streak of eyeliner down here. I don't know if it can be told on this. There you go.
He's good.
Yeah, probably for the show. I have a feeling, what, your eyes were tearing up because you're playing Binding of Isaac?
Probably.
You haven't been
Is
blinking?
it good now?
Yes. Yes, it is. Did you want to tell that story?
Do you want to tell it?
Okay.
It's hard for me to
Basically,
talk and play it.
Becky's niece, wait.
My niece.
Yeah, niece is going to
Okay.
school, and her, this boy, they're what, 10?
Yeah.
And this fucking TikTok kid, who happens to be your cousin, thinks he's hot shit because he's got a few thousand followers on fucking TikTok. So he thinks he's the fucking best. So he's like king shit, and he's going around like.
Oh, did you say 1,000?
Yeah.
No, he probably has like 30. But they think that he's like.
He still thinks he's hot shit.
Yeah.
Because he's gotten some likes on fucking TikTok. So he's a TikTok kid at age 10, and he thinks he's awesome. So you can just picture the kid. And he's been just like fucking always up in her face, like pranking her, or just like physically getting a little rough with her to tease her and stuff. Cause
picking on her and like.
he thinks he can get away with it
pushing
because
her.
she's his cousin. So her parents told her to deck him, and she did.
Yeah. They're like, next time he does it, punch him in the face. Like, you've tried to talk to him, you've tried all these things.
Enough that he had to gather friends later to come up and tell her that it didn't hurt. Surrounded by friends.
Yeah. And she was like, is that why you walked away holding your face and crying? And his friends were like, oh!
And so hearing the story, I want a bit more revenge than that. So I've been saying, like, can we please find out his account? Because I can easily get him banned. Am I not right, TikTok users? I can, like, report the account, right? Because you're not allowed to be on there under what? What's the age limit? I could even pose as his parent and say, like, I found my child's account here. I did not give consent for this. Delete this immediately to the moderators. And at the very least, even if they don't believe me, they'll ask him for proof of age or whatever.
They're not gonna tell me his. They're like, he's a little wiener. Who cares?
If he's a little shit if he's full of himself, get him banned from that platform. That is bad. If it's starting that early and he's full of himself, imagine what he's gonna be like in the future as like a Twitch streamer. What a piece of shit he's gonna be. Wow, 13. You're allowed at 13?
Holy shit. So yeah, he probably just said he's 13.
How does the platform get away with that?
Oh, I guess I didn't need to use that.
Man. Anywho.
We don't need more TikTok douches. Yeah.
Right? They're all with me. Get them banned. Anyways. Gravel says, this isn't so much traumatizing as it is stupid kids doing stupid things.
Oh, yeah.
Also applies.
Yeah.
In my 5th grade computer class, me and the boy who sat next to me used to pull pins out of our desks and insert them into the disk drive of the computer.
Jesus!
Pins were in your desk. I don't even get that. Slapping the drive to make sure the pins fell into the computer. Sometimes I still wonder if we caused lasting damage. You probably did.
Yeah, dude.
You're a shitty kid.
You did.
Gravel. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why schools wouldn't give us computers. Acid Silver says, posted this earlier, but it was skipped over. Shit, how did I skip these? I don't know how I'm skipping them. I was 9. I had my first crush on a girl, and being a young kid, I thought she would be the love of my life, but I was too scared to actually ask her to be my girlfriend. We sat next to each other in class, and one day she told me that she wanted to share a secret with me, to which I told her to go ahead. She told me that she had a crush on someone in class, which got me extremely excited because I thought she was talking about me. It turns out she was actually had a crush on my best friend
Of course she
instead, and she only told me so that I could ask my friend if he liked her too. I was so upset at this that I never spoke a word to her again until I moved away later that year. And to this day, he can only get off to cuckold porn. Gravel says I was a chaotic child. No, Fraser. That's how it starts, though. When I was 7 or 8, I was looking forward to a costume party at my school. My parents bought me, this is Damucci saying this, bought me this awesome Asterisk costume, main character from the French comic book with the same name, including a helmet, sword, and awesome mustache. I really liked it and couldn't wait to show it to my friends at school. When the day finally came, I was excited and my parents dropped me off at the school parking lot, then leaving me there to go to my classroom. When I entered the school, it was weirdly empty, not as I expected, and the classroom door was shut closed. I was very confused. So I went back to the parking lot, but my parents were already gone. I started crying because I was all alone and kind of very embarrassed. Suddenly I met a friend from the class who lived nearby. He looked at me and was wondering why I was wearing this stupid costume, quote, and I tried to hide my tears, pretended that I was going to another friend's costume party and quickly left. Disappointed and very embarrassed, I walked home on my own, with people giving me funny looks because of the costume. Turns out my parents were mistaken, that there was never meant to be a costume party at my school this year, only at my sister's school. Still, the costume and that fake mustache were amazing. That's sad. That's really good. This might be the winner of today, because that's sad, and it's Halloween. 7 or 8, that's the prime age to be just old enough to be super embarrassed. This is sad. This is sad. This is sad.
Yeah, that one's an interesting one too, because like in your mind's eye, everybody was laughing at you, but they weren't. They probably weren't. Maybe they were even smiling and just thought you were cute.
So I don't understand why the school was empty and shut and closed.
Maybe it was a weekend?
So your sister's school was throwing a party on the weekend?
That's fine. But I don't.
Silverbug says, I don't know if it's embarrassing or not. Sure if it counts as a childhood story. I wore hearing aids growing up at school. In year 8, I had got given a microphone for my teacher to clip onto their shirts. Oh yeah, I've heard of that. So their voices went directly into my hearing aid.
That is amazing that you had those resources.
Hell yeah.
Holy shit.
I can already see where this is going though. This is brand new technology. Nobody was really used to it. After an art class, we went on break. Unknowingly, the art teacher was still wearing the mic. I was too shy to yell out to her and overheard her talking shit about an annoying kid in my class to other teachers. The kid was a little cunt, to be honest. Oh my god.
Shit, this is gold!
Kind of awkward. You were a spy.
Yeah?
You had spy tech. Kind of awkward, but it got worse. She then proceeded to go to the bathroom with the mic still on, going directly into my ears.
Oh, damn it.
I'm picturing you just taking your hearing aids out and just like the other kids being like, but dude, you can't hear us if you take those out. What are you doing, man? You're not gonna be able to play Red Rover. Be like, it's okay. I accept this. I accept my fate.
Oh, my story wasn't Halloween. It was just a party for Carnival in Trinity Hall.
I see. I stood stunned and disgusted, waiting for her to come back and turn the mic off. I made my friends go and get the mic because it was so awkward. Wow. Kazuki's like, yeah, I'd rather not hear anything right now. Or even better, like, I think I'm good. I think I'm good not to hear anything more for the rest of my life. Technology,
give it up.
What hath God brought? We're too busy wondering whether we could. We did not stop to ask whether we should. Whoa, Flashpoint. Whoa. Alright. The story was about me and my father just a month ago. Tell my sister an embarrassing story about me. You blocked it. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. It's a childhood story. It's just that it was told to you a month ago. Okay. Yes, you blocked it out as mine. So, I believe I was 5 or 6. I'm an old man of the raggedy age of 40. My family and I were in Edmonton, Alberta for my uncle's wedding, and I was given the job of ring bearer. It was a very hot summer day, and they had wedding outdoors under a large tent that wasn't enclosed. There I was in my mini tux, about to head down the aisle, alone, where I was left as the last person to do the walk, both wedding rings in hand. Since this was being held in a public park, guess what suddenly arrived? With bike bells ringing not far that away from the tent, a frickin' Dickie-Dee.
What the fuck's a Dickie-Dee?
I think it says, for those of you too young to know, a Dickie-Dee was a mobile popsicle ice cream stand. I think they called them something different in Canada or Ontario. They had a name though.
Well, we grew up in the country, so we didn't have Dickie-Dees.
Well, I guess I wanted some ice cream real fucking bad, because I just took off like a bat out of hell.
Nice!
To look for that mobile treasure trove of cold, tasty treats. Adults had been sitting down, so when an adult finally reached me, they asked, where are the rings? Holy shit. It seems I decided to toss the rings onto the not-so-low grass in search of the ice cream. This kid is 5 or 6. I mean, this is the adult's fault. Yeah.
100%. I love this story.
Since I guess the rings were weren't my priority at the time.
No, God no.
So the whole wedding, now stalled, had to get up out of their chairs and search every inch of the grass in the general area where I ran. Luckily, they eventually found the rings. Though I'm told that during the whole time they were searching for the rings, there I was crying and begging my parents, asking in the most polite way, in brackets, to get me something from Dickie-Dee. Wow!
Yes!
Not embarrassed about this, fiasco you'd caused.
Nope.
Just, Will somebody think of the ice cream?
Please, my God. Priorities.
Now I know what
people.
my step-aunt didn't seem to like me for some time later, and why my uncle had given me the name Dickie during my childhood. It wasn't until my dad told us this story that I understood why my uncle called me that name all that time. So I was embarrassed as shit hearing about my younger self. I know my parents were even more embarrassed back then. Of course, after telling the story, I asked my dad, so, did you end up getting me something from the Dickie D in the end?
Seriously.
He said, fuck no, you were acting like a little shit. Now drink your damn beer, Dickie, because we're having ice cream for dessert. The end.
Aw, I liked it.
That's pretty good. I'll accept the long story because it was good. By the way, it took 2 weeks for my sister, who's 10 years younger than me, to finally stop making fun of me. Guess I
That was
kinda
like...
deserved it.
No, that is in no way your fault. That is 100% on that.
That's all the
And
adults' fault.
I think it's hilarious.
A 5-year-old trusted with fucking rings like that?
No.
At least the wedding bands aren't really worth that much compared to
Well,
the engagement.
I mean, it depends on the person.
Man, the engagement ring I got Becky, holy fuck. Almost put aside a house and home for a while.
Yep. That's how I know you really love me, man.
Yeah. Sandwich Man says, when I was 7 years old, I was jumping on my older brother's bed because I was very hyper kid at that time and watching Alvin and the Chipmunks cartoon movie. And I really loved their music that I was jumping and dancing to. I jumped so hard that I thought I broke my brother's bed and I was worrying. So I tried to see if I could fix it. However, instead of looking at the box spring, I look under the mattress and there I found my brother's secret porno stash of magazines and DVDs. Jeez, how old's this brother? I popped in the DVD because I was the kind of movie, what kind of movie this is, and first thing I saw a half-naked lady dancing to this fat man in shorts. At first, I didn't mind it because it was because of the sexy lady. However, as it shows her dancing, it shows close-up shot of the fat man touching his crotch. Though at first, I thought it was weird. I said to myself, why are they showing the man scratching himself a lot? Literally, the next scene, it shows the woman fully naked on her knees with her mouth open. And to me, it was like she was being shot with some foamy water, only to see the camera zooming out and showing she was being shot by men circling around her. I quickly turned off the DVD and put the porno back under my brother's mattress and went to my room thinking about what I just saw. The world's a scary place, man.
Yeah, there's all kinds of weird shit.
Imagine being a girl watching that. You're like, so that's what I'm in for.
Yeah. So that's what I'm in for, you mean?
Yeah.
Your intonation was off.
Yeah. Guess I better start practicing. Goes grabs mayo from the fridge.
It was
Why does that child like mayo so much?
I'm just practicing, Mom.
I just want boys to like me. One more story. Hingen Sketch says, can't remember how old I was, likely elementary school. My mom took me and a friend to a fast food restaurant for dinner one weekend. We were preparing to leave. I had my hands full of takeout bags and my drink. When I was waiting, I leaned, my mind was all squared. So you're at a fast food restaurant. Okay. While I was waiting, I leaned down to take a sip of my soda and ended up getting the straw stuck up my nose. With my hands full, I couldn't get it out and yelped help to my mom loudly. She stood there and laughed as I tried to shake it out. Finally, she removed it and laughed the whole way home. Can't remember how old, says Inkins yet.
That's a good mom would.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how do you get a kid to realize everything's funny? and not to be
Oh
embarrassed.
my god, I don't know because they failed with me.
Yeah, well, it's Catholic. No Catholic kid will ever grow up lighthearted.
My sisters thought everything was funny.
To you, relative to you, because they were getting older.
Oh yeah.
And you were their comedic outlet. It's like they'd been through what you'd been through.
So everyone laughs at little Becca.
Yeah. But they were probably, no doubt, still embarrassed by every single thing they did.
True.
All right. I Like the Quiet says, I was maybe 6 to 8, and I was looking through the cupboard for a movie to watch. I picked one up. It looked like Miami Vice, so wait a minute. What? Who the fuck are you? I Like the Quiet's a kid and is like, Miami Vice, yeah! So I popped it into the VCR and watched it for a while. I watched it for a little bit and forgot that I'd left it in the player. It was actually porn, and I remember being lectured about watching it.
Oh shit. Well, why do you have porn lying
Yeah,
around?
why is there porn in the cupboard?
I should be lecturing you, parent.
Little I Like the Quiet is like, oh, Mom, I thought it was the Miami Vice with the guy and the with the mustache and the whatnot. What is Miami Vice? I think I'm confusing it with. Is that the one with Tom Selleck?
Can I have some water?
Is that Tom Selleck or is that?
What, you don't have some emergency porn in reserve? It's a porn cupboard. What else are you gonna keep in there? My family never had porn lying around. Lame.
Yeah, your dad doesn't seem like the type to have a stash. Maybe he did until he lost. The day he shaved the mustache was the day he gave up everything.
Well, I mean, I was about 12
I can
then.
picture the mustachioed dad having a porn stash.
Yeah.
Mustachioed Dennis? Sure.
Get a
For sure. That was a different man. That guy probably ran a Russian roulette circle in his basement too.
Ah, so cool. My mom, did you get a haircut?
Why did he shave his stash one day?
I guess
He was just done with it?
I don't know. I never asked him. Just decided to do it one day, which is interesting that, I don't know, the females in our family are so dominant. I'm surprised he didn't discuss it with my mom first.
Yeah.
He seems like a...
Kulnara says, my parents had a porn VHS. He was super organized and listed all the VHS tapes. He actually documented that one as erotica for adults only.
Amazing.
My dad is a he.
Did you guys have any porn? Person?
I think I found a single magazine in the house at one point, and it was pretty tame.
Oh,
Pretty
lame.
tasteful stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Alright.
We had family friends who had raunchier stuff
Yeah.
on full display in their
Really?
bedroom. It was really easy to get to.
Whoa.
Just sitting on the night table. A large
Hells
stack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Gotta categorize it.
God, it's so easy now. We don't even have to pay for it. You know, like we don't have to go to a rental place and have that kind of embarrassing exchange. Yeah, we should get porn.
Yeah. The world has changed.
Fuck, we're so lucky.
My brother's secret stash wasn't porn. It was Power Rangers DVD collection.
Lame.
That was pretty lame.
Were you not allowed
Unless
to
you're
look at it?
talking Kimberly's bike short scenes.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll accept this.
Rika says, my best friend's house had porn stashed under every single bit of furniture in their room. Every single bit of furniture had porn under it. When it's gonna be that blatant, why even put it under things? Why not just have a porn cabinet or a shelf?
I had like very little exposure to porn whenever I was little.
Really?
Yeah.
Skilly says, I had to teach my brother how to delete his internet history so our parents wouldn't find out about the lesbian stuff he was looking up.
Yeah.
That was about the only porn I wanted to see when I was young, like in grade school, was lesbian, because I didn't want to see any dudes.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, like, yeah, I wasn't interested in that. Girls kissing? Nice. You get 2 for the price of 1. Plus, you know, I have limited, like, I'm gonna have a limited amount of stuff I can hide.
Yeah.
I don't want any guys muddying it up. I want, like, maximum coverage. Every page needs its best mileage. I can't relate just doing nothing but going to Google and typing lesbian porn. What is that?
Oh, God.
What are you saying, oh God, for?
Just, it's so easy now.
Yeah, definitely. And now I like Sonic kissing. The only exposure I got, says Miss Fable, was at a friend's house because her older brother forgot to clear the internet history. I recall the first porn search ever at David H's house. And one of the few friends with the internet at that time, and just being like, you know, having to convince him, like, come on. And like, we literally searched probably on Alta Vista, no, porn.
Oh.
Yeah, just porn, P-O-R-N-E.
Well, how do you do it now?
That makes it even funnier.
P-O-R-N-E. Ben was there?
Ben was there? Yeah. Yeah. All right, might need a quick break so I can pee. I need a snack, I think. You can keep going if you want.
Break your fast?
Yeah, I think I might need to.
I might die here. Maybe not. No, I'll take a break because I want some water.
And a stretch. All right, guys, we'll be back
Okay.
after this with more childhood stories. Stick around.
Hi.
Welcome back, everybody, to this Happy Halloween, y'all. I guess it's Halloween here.
It is.
It'll be Halloween for you soon. A little bit of a kind of a lame Halloween year.
Compai.
But kind of lame because so many people are. I hope that some of you guys have communities that are allowing kids out in costumes. There is no reason why kids shouldn't be able to walk the streets in costume.
They're going to school.
They're going to school together. If where you are has kids going to school into classrooms, how the fuck are they going to say that Halloween is irresponsible? Take precautions. Let them have their goddamn childhood.
Mandatory. I know.
It's like Becky and I were talking about how, like, when you're a kid, every Halloween is sacred. You only have so many years before you grow up. And every age time is like a different type of Halloween, it feels like. Every one is a bit different from the last in terms of like where you're going with it.
We got trick-or-treating here. It's you can do it or don't. My niece and nephew are coming over to get some candy from me. That's kind of how my family's doing it. They have like sort of a group of them, and the kids are all going to each other's houses.
Halloween's way safer than schools.
Yeah.
They're not in a room together. It's an outdoor activity. Even trick-or-treating, even where candy is being handed out, I think it's like, I mean, you're trusting the person giving out the candy that they aren't sick and didn't cough all over it.
Yeah. They're saying, I know on like Toronto's or Canada's CBC newspaper is saying hand out candy with tongs.
Yeah, sure. Like,
Like,
there's so many things you can do. Like,
do that.
Halloween, I think there's no reason for it not to go ahead this year. Trick-or-treating.
Giving kids candy while they're in cars.
Keep your distance. Don't go into buildings. That's where it
Yeah.
spreads because of lack of ventilation. The outdoors is like...
Yeah, and I mean, in Vancouver, we would often have people just, like, the people giving out candy, sit on the porches, have beers, and have the candy in, like, a bucket.
Yeah.
Like, just kind of do it.
Nobody
like
needs
that.
to be manhandling candy.
Yeah.
Kid can take their candy. Somebody says that...
I'm gonna stand outside and slide candy to kids because I'm crazy and dumb. No, that sounds amazing. That's great. There's drive-through trick-or-treats events going on near you. Yeah, I've seen those PVC pipe slides.
Somebody said some places have like vending machines set up at their house. So the kids press a button and candy comes out.
Where did they get vending machines?
I don't know. I saw some people get invented with a PVC pipe slides,
Yeah, have you not seen
maintaining
those?
distance and sliding it down the chute. That's
Yeah,
funny. I mean, a lot more complicated than just setting out a ball.
right?
But then I guess you're like, kids are gonna all be handling it and they'll handle it like other kids did. But again, they're going to school together.
I think that it would be super fun to have PVC pipes, have like 5 of them set up, and then have the candy come down, but the kids have to like try to catch it.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
In addition, just have a fucking sanitize and spray at every single bowl of candy.
Yeah.
Spray your hands, take a candy. Spray your hands, take a candy. Every single time. How is that ever gonna, like, you know? It's just, I'm up in arms about it because in Ontario, where we grew up, the fucking premier has been criticized for having overcrowded classrooms during COVID. Despite cramming these kids into classrooms where they cannot social distance, he has also all sanctimoniously been like, do not participate in Halloween. No trick-or-treating. We all have to do our part. This is a guy who has allowed my mother's work to continue as a fucking makeup manufacturer assembly line, has them go, that's essential. That's
Yeah.
going ahead. You know, she's reaching
been-
an age where she's getting at risk and they're like, that's essential work.
And she's been working
Nonstop.
through
Yeah.
the whole time. Insane.
It's the
Racist.
hypocrisy that pisses me off. It's like, just make grand gestures as a politician that you're trying by making big sensational bans. Trick-or-treating. I'm doing my part as a politician to make sure you are safe. You do your part. Meanwhile, industry, go ahead. Keep doing everything you're doing.
Yeah. Aw, fresh mom.
It's like some... Wait a minute, you shut down Halloween. Should I shut down the old nickel mine? Like, no, go ahead, go ahead. All right, here's your kickback. All right, next up. When I was in, wait, yep. Is this the next one? Yeah. License to Kill says, when I was 2nd grade, I thought I was super mature for my age because of all my parents' friends, my dad would move a lot. So my parents' friends would say how mature I was for my age a lot. Anyway, on the way home from school, I took a bus and I thought that I could walk home from the bus stop before I usually get off for some reason. Immediately, I got off the bus, crossed the street, and realized I was lost. Luckily, a cop stopped at the convenience store and I was in front of, and he realized I needed help. I was able to give him my address, and I got home safely, but I felt super dumb for getting off early and thinking I was mature enough to walk home there and immediately getting lost. Yeah.
This is a grade run I'm doing right now. It doesn't usually start with these. Excuse me.
All right.
Health
Trip.
up.
I am fucking huge.
I saw a recommendation for Halloween Easter egg hunt done by parents. It's not enough. Halloween's about showing off your costume
Yeah.
and seeing everybody else's costumes. All right, Kazuki. One time in 2nd grade, we were taking a test and I really had to pee. So I raised my hand like I was supposed to. The teacher didn't acknowledge my raised hand for like what felt like forever. Same with me in kindergarten. I've already told that story. And I probably was too shy to raise my hand. Never mind. I probably didn't. It was probably my fault. And I really had to go, and I was having a hard time holding it at this point. By the time the teacher finally realized my hand was raised, I had already peed my pants. When she found this out, I remember her telling me something like along the lines of, "You should have just gone." But as an obedient kid, that thought never crossed my mind.
Yes.
It all got sorted out, and luckily, I don't recall being bullied for that, but it was still really embarrassing.
Can I tell a story?
Go
Can
for
I
it.
tell the story?
About
The one about my nieces and nephews. The other day.
what?
About just this school thing.
Okay.
Okay. Here, do you want to play for a bit? It's okay
I
if you
have
don't.
no idea how this game plays. Push in the direction, right? Can I did I just die?
Yeah, I set you up for failure a little bit. Sorry, just exit. Yeah, there you go. It's boss rush. Okay, so the other day, it was on my birthday. I was texting with my, should I tell this? I don't know, I feel bad, like. Anyways, I was texting with my sisters, and I guess my niece had. Hey, you unlocked something! My niece had called into the school and said that she had an appointment, but the vice principal said, like, it sounded like a kid.
You're just talking about the hooky thing.
Yeah. And so my sister had to, like, track down my niece and was, like, mad at her because she called in and whatever. And, fuck, I'm telling this story so bad.
It's okay. Take that. I'm not good at this.
The point is...
The point is...
As she's messaging this, she finds out my other sister got a call from the principal at my nephew's school, and he had gotten in a fight with another kid. And he was like super responsible about it and didn't punch the kid in the face because he had braces and had to go home to his family. And so she's talking about this story, and she's like, Jesus Christ, I just got a call from my other son's principal who goes to a different school, and he didn't show up for school today.
What a day for the nephews and niece.
Yeah, it was funny because they were like
getting in trouble.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like shit everybody does.
Last one this year says License to Kill. My parents took me to play mini golf one time, and we were able to take a golf ball home. I was so upset that we were done playing mini golf that I threw away the golf ball in a tantrum. As soon as we drove away, I started crying for that golf ball back. Wow,
Yeah.
You were a fucking piece of shit, man.
Yeah,
When I realized it wouldn't make us play more mini golf by throwing it away. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I hope you never got to play mini golf ever again. You piece of crap. Little fucker.
Being a kid is tough, man. You have to like learn what's appropriate and what isn't.
This is like, I mean, it's hard for me to understand because the most misbehaved I was as a kid was making like a dirty look at my mom when I was upset about.
Did what?
Yeah. And like, I was a fucking angel.
Yeah.
Like, that would be the worst thing, would be like maybe talking a little too sharply back at some point to something that like, being frustrated or something. Like, I can't think of a single thing I did that wasn't just stupid. That I did was bad.
You were also kind of blessed with a very, good relationship with your mom where you could tell her like the truth about things and she would talk to you frankly. Like, not everyone has that relationship with their parents where they can.
Well, I don't think I realized that until I was in high school though.
You had that in
Or
high
like
school.
maybe late grade school. Yeah.
Dude.
I'm talking about as a little kid though. Like I was a fucking angel.
Yeah.
In fact, the only time I think I got in trouble like in public was one time where I fucking went at a kid all fists and elbows because he's making fun of my dad.
Oh shit.
He made fun of my dad. And I went, and then Dad got me in trouble and didn't understand.
Oh, and you probably
He said that I'd
didn't tell
embarrassed
him.
him in front of everybody because he was there to like umpire a baseball game. He was
Oh my
asked as a
God.
last-minute fill-in. And so he was like umpiring like a kind of an older baseball game, but one of the kids, this piece of shit kid, was making fun of my dad. And I like just went at him fucking hard. Like
Really?
everything I had, and this kid was 3 years older than me. And he was probably like a good foot over me, but I just like threw my body at him all fists and elbows.
Wow.
And then yeah,
Impressive.
and I didn't tell him what.
Yeah, of
I told my
course you
mom, I
didn't.
think, why. I think my mom was like, "Why'd you do that?" And I told her, and she's like, "All right, you know, or whatever."
You're so cool.
I was I would get really hot-headed in some instances, but other than that, I was this super shy pompadour little.
Yeah.
Once as a young child, I was eating in a restaurant at some family, this is Damuchi, at a family gathering. I had ordered fries and recently learned that when I put salt onto them, they'll taste even better.
Oh, hells yeah.
Naturally, I started putting a whole lot of salt onto them, like probably half the salt shaker, until my uncle saw this and cautioned me, telling that I'd probably ruin those fries. Defiant as I am, I shook my head and started eating the fries, instantly hating it, but trying not to show it. My face must have been hilarious because my uncle started laughing out loud and started making fun of my obvious disgusted facial expressions. I don't think I finished those fries. It's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah.
Nyante says,
Now I
hopefully
want fries.
I didn't post this another year, but Fraser just reminded me in my early days of porn. I like how like your porn is like everybody's like a never-ending journey.
I mean,
In the early
it
days.
Grows.
Yeah.
It grows.
I thought I would get into trouble with the law if I went on an 18-plus website.
I do too.
Really?
Yes.
It's funny because I didn't even like think for a moment that would get me in trouble. And I was like sort of a paranoid kid. Huh.
Nope, for sure.
One day I looked up that video from the Russian pop group Tattoo where they kissed. You remember that? All the things she said, all the things she said, in my head, all the things she said, all the things she said. One girl has short cropped black hair and the other girl's blonde. Their like whole thing on stage was kissing.
Okay.
You know it.
Friends till the end.
I remember.
This band?
Oh, Tattoo. Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah, I remember
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, that
You
made
were
lots
right.
of headlines. I have to go back and find where it was. Second. I have too many tabs.
You should close your tabs.
I should. But it's like, you know, I might need to go back to those tabs.
Then you just find it later.
Shit.
How many tabs do you have open?
Well, the stupid thing is, like, when you open a new one, it skips, like, alright, I'm gonna just I'm gonna get back onto the Discord. What,
You have to completely re-look it up. You have that many tabs open?
yeah!
Dude,
Like, we're talking hundreds.
clean your house.
They're my bookmarks.
No, that's not how you bookmark. You bookmark in an organized fashion in folders. Are you a monster? Shit.
Yeah, I am. I really am. Turbo Discourse. Oh, whoa. I went into birthday stories by accident? There we go.
That was last year.
Yeah. Who, okay, I think I can find it.
Oh, I had totally forgotten about that band.
Polaroids. Asterisks.
You know, the first like real kind of porny thing was probably novels for me.
Ah, I remember novels. There was that same family that had all the porn in the bedroom had
Books?
some pretty racy, like,
Yeah.
you know, tawdry type stuff.
Oh, I'm talking about like even Cowgirls Get the Blues. Like it's not. It's like lesbian novels.
Lesbian novels?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not like super raunchy. It's just like
Why lesbian?
because everyone's a lesbian in my family.
Oh.
That's kind of what I had access to.
Yeah, girls tend to be that way with books, I think, more. At least that's what Big Mouth taught me.
Yeah, I mean,
They're not wrong.
no.
I remember, I think my mom had Lady Shadowray's Lover, which is a pretty classic,
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
probably vanilla when it comes to, you know, the romance novels. It's a famous one.
I don't know.
There's some pretty good descriptions in that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die.
Gravel says I legit can't remember my first experience with porn. I wonder if that's weird. A little bit. Like,
No,
isn't that
I
like a
can't.
huge hallmark moment in your
I
life?
can't either. Maybe it's a girl thing.
Well, what's the earliest one you can remember? Maybe that was your first.
Well, it was this book that teaches you about your body.
That's
and
not
it was,
porn.
Oh. I mean, it showed dicks
Not
and
porn.
boobs.
That is not pornography.
First porn. I don't know.
Like, it doesn't have to be the earliest one you can remember counts. Like, honestly, because that's the first one that had an impression.
I have no impressions.
Oh. Oh, another time I can remember. Remember Lindsay, the boy?
Yes.
C?
Yeah.
He offered one day being like, hey, my brother has a whole bunch of stuff. You want me to get some? To like me and a few other kids? And I'm like, yes, I do. And so like
He would.
the guy pays off. The next day comes in
shit.
with way more than I can handle. Like this huge bundle. And I'm like, dude, and he like tries to give it to me in the middle of fucking recess.
Oh my god.
With everyone around. I'm like, no witnesses. No witnesses. What are you doing? And like, it's probably grade 5.
Dude, what the hell?
And I'm like, dude, you can't. And like, some other kids immediately see the exchange, and they're like,
Oh,
hey!
no.
And I'm like, I drop my hands as he's trying to make the exchange, and it's winter, and it hits the ground, and it flutters across the snow, like all these pages.
Oh my God.
And I'm disowning the whole situation. I'm
Yeah.
like, I did not ask for this. This is not. And like, he's immediately pointing at me and being like, hey, this is the kind of stuff he's into. And kind of like mentality, like, just like, he likes porn.
What the fuck?
Well, I don't know.
What did he want from you? Like,
Nothing. He was, I think, also embarrassed. He just like, he wanted friendship, I think.
Aw.
He had access to porn,
Yeah.
knew that if he gave it to somebody, it would be cool. Was too clumsy or stupid or like was too familiar with the stuff to not realize that it was taboo. And did it in a very clumsy way, the exchange, and immediately like had it like it turned into a gong show, and it was on him. And I have no idea why nothing came of it.
Yeah, that sounds
Porn
like...
fluttering across the schoolyard
Oh, shit.
in winter, like a bright winter day with nothing but white snow as the backdrop for these pages, and yet nobody. I remember the rest of the day thinking somebody's gonna fucking find that, a kid's gonna find it and show it to a teacher teacher's gonna find it, then they're gonna do a school-wide manhunt,
Yep.
and it's gonna come down to it,
Oh
a
my
confession, and nothing happened.
God. Wow.
So like that was a success, I guess, in the end.
But you didn't get to see anything except for the flutter.
Yeah, it felt really shitty. Like
Yeah.
I got a glimpse of what it was. I think in his words he said, she's got really good hangers. And I was
What's
like,
that
what is
mean?
that? What is that? Like, I need to see these hangers. Like,
I mean, maybe they're
is that a
wooden.
particular type of boob I have not yet seen? Anyways, poor Brad.
God, what is my first porn experience? Everything was pretty medical in my household because
Nurses.
nurses,
And
yeah. So
all
like,
women.
yeah, we saw like there were always medical books about, and I don't know I don't know.
You got the medical explanations early on.
Yeah.
I remember sex ed in Mrs. Whiteside's class. Thank God sex ed was given to fifth graders, because I can't even imagine Mr. Hook trying sixth grade. I don't think you knew any of these teachers, but you do know that Mrs. Whiteside was the greatest teacher of all time,
Yes,
right?
I
From
know.
you know this from Melanie and
Yep.
yeah. So she's teaching it in the best way probably that a teacher can, because she was super forward and super frank and younger too, so she didn't have any troubles with it. And then I remember this one kid, she'd kind of glossed over or maybe gone too fast, because this one kid, Andrew, you might have known him. His last name starts with an F. He's got burly, huskier kid. Maybe he never went to your school or anything. He was one of those kids that appeared out of nowhere in 6th grade.
Okay.
I just assumed, Ben, he'd come from your school.
Ben didn't come from my school.
Didn't he go to your school after? Or?
No.
Didn't that happen at some point?
No.
Okay, anyways. The kid works up the gumption to actually put up his hand and say, how do they actually have sex?
Ooh.
And I remember...
He's a saint.
Yeah, and I remember everybody breathing a sigh of relief and her being kind of embarrassed, being like, oh shit, I kind of did jump the gun. She's going through into the baby process, the zygote and everything. And she had actually kind of gone too fast at this point, assuming that maybe she had taken kids for granted, that they knew more than she thought, which would be a bad thing. But it's not. Miss Whiteside wouldn't do that frivolously. She just honestly, I think, was oh shit, I should really. And she
step by step
took the removable penis thing off the board, the thing that can because it you can, I don't know.
Okay.
And she showed it how it fits into the canal and everything, and everybody was this is good. This is good.
I love this
Now
guy
we
for
know.
asking.
Now we know. Grabble learned it from Sue Johansson. I had some help from Sue Johansson's
Oh God! Oh my
spots
God!
on AM 640.
Yeah.
She would do interviews.
That's where the majority of my knowledge came from.
But her stuff was pretty advanced too, so she's getting into fetishes.
I would love to listen to that again. Yeah.
I always thought Sue Johansson was Canadian
So
for some
did I.
reason.
I think that she was played on.
She was syndicated a lot in
Yeah.
Canada on the radio. All right, Ink and Sketch says, all these stories are slowly flooding back. When I was 16, I was in driving school and class had just ended, so I was waiting for my dad to pick me up. When he arrived, he got out of the car and told me to get in the driver's seat. He wanted me to practice since our house was a short ride back, and I could through the neighborhood without having to get on any major roads. I was nervous as hell, of course, only going about 10 miles per hour,
Oh God.
as carefully as possible. Even more scared, I was a tiny girl driving a giant Ford truck that felt like a tank. My dad encouraged me to go a bit faster. When I got to a turn, I stepped on the gas but turned too sharply and ended up crashing into a tree,
Oh.
denting the door so badly it made an awful scraping sound. When he tried to open it, I still don't know how a tiny tree did so much damage. I cried the rest of the day feeling horrible, but my mom and dad were surprisingly chill about the whole situation. I mean, your dad took on the risk.
One of the first times I tried driving, I've probably told this. One of the first times I tried driving, I was maybe 14. We lived in the country. I was maybe 14.
1 second. Kulnara says, we watch traumatizing childbirth videos. For sex ed.
Oh my God.
Not showing you how you do it, just the results.
Jesus.
Just so you know, girls, here's what happened 9 months later if you do it with a boy.
Oh my
Anyways,
God.
go ahead.
My mom was like, yeah, you should, about the time that you should try driving. And so I was like, and so she wanted me to drive to church. And so I got in the car and went to reverse out of the driveway, but I was in drive and ran into everything in our garage. It was fucking horrible. But never knew.
And your dad had to deal with that shit.
Yeah, we had to get to church, man.
When I was 13 to 15 years old, says Mr. Robin, I would look up porn. I think porn has just like sparked everybody's like, we got on this thread and now everybody's like, old memories are flooding back. I was 13 to 15 years old, I would look up porn. However, it had gotten so boring since it was all sane porn I watched until I got a message from a site that said live porn, where idea was talking to this hot woman for free. It was a scam, but only way I tested was replying and seeing if an answer made sense. After I tested it out, I decided to type in my mom's credit card. How the fuck did you get access to that? I read through the text and it said free 1 month, so I realized I had actually drawn money from my mom's account at the first day. My mom and dad got very angry.
Yeah.
And I had to pay back $150 and talk about. And that day I learned if you want to watch porn, you can do it for free. Never pay for porn.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks. I stole my mom's credit card to buy Turbo Ship 8 years ago. True story. Did you get in trouble for that? I forgot about that.
Wait a minute, we only accepted TurboShip through a PayPal button. That's a lot more than stealing a credit card. You have to go through like a sign-up process. You have to like...
8 years ago, is that how it was done?
That was some premeditated friggin' disobedience. Wow, Hexuni.
Yup.
That's the effect we have on people, huh?
Oh no.
Just gotta get me more of that fresh. It's not like regular porn. You can talk to them. It's just like it. A premium service to be able to talk to the live stream. Krya says, told my family story my family told me from when I was a baby. I had a baby walker to help me get around, the kind where you put the kid inside. So one morning, my sister and the neighbor kid went outside to play, and I wanted to follow them. I guess I managed to get to the open door frame, and the walker got stuck with me in it. Since I wasn't a child that cried a lot, it took my father a few minutes to realize where I was. I was told I was quietly trying to wiggle my way back inside the house.
Dude, you're problem solving? Holy shit.
More porn talk, says Alpha66. My first access to porn was the Eminem music video where a woman with impressive sized boobs pressed them into clear glass. I don't remember that. I don't know this video. It was amazing for a 12-year-old, and being the rich little smartass I was, I downloaded it to my iPod Classic. One day, my dad had to go to the dentist and get dental surgery, and wanted to borrow my iPod to listen to while he's there. You see where this is going. I got a 3-hour talking to when he got back, the bad kind. Thankfully, he failed to convince me that porn was a bad thing, and I remained a deviant. Wait a minute, how is this porn? It's an Eminem music video. You had plausible deniability that you just, if you were a smart child,
not smart enough, yep.
Sounds like you weren't, you could have easily said like that this was just a new musician that you were told about. You hadn't seen the video yet. That's your fault. We're at the end. That's it.
Whoa, that's it? That's all you guys got?
Well, we're 2.5 hours in, so it actually wrapped up at a good time.
Did you want to do the photos?
Becky collected some of your Halloween photos that you guys were sending to her on Twitter.
Maybe while we finish this run.
I'll try to bring them up here.
Those were great stories, you guys.
Good job, everybody.
What was your favorite story?
My favorite has to be any of Kulnara's. I just love picturing this desolate Russian landscape. And like a single cement building in the middle of nowhere where she's going to school, or like another single cement building in the middle of nowhere where she's at home. And in between, there's nothing but like scraggly trees and donkeys. And then all this other stuff happening in between.
Oh, I was not paying attention. Yes. She said lol donkeys.
What is the Kate McKinnon character she does on Saturday Night Live where she's on news update, weekend update? She like does this character. I don't think she's from Russia, is she? Or is she? Oh, I paused the stream accidentally, guys.
Oh.
I hope it's still streaming. There, it had to do with, I was trying to load up a drive and it was fucking up. Hopefully that that probably paused the stream.
But not for very long, I don't think. Still streaming.
All right, I'll size this down, these images down here. These are some turbo,
Nothing messed up on there. Sorry, I didn't really know how to resize.
I don't know who Adam is, but did you put names on everyone?
Yeah.
Jesus, that's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Adam sent that one. I have to go through a sort of a process for each one. Here's Ashley Elizabeth's costume. Unfortunately, it's going to resize them every time.
Oh, I'm so sorry. She's Harley Quinn.
Neat. You can keep playing if you want. And then here's Chris Bliss.
She made that.
That scared me, said Pearl. And then what's this one? Becca. Wait, that's you!
Yeah.
Dressed as what?
Like, I think a clown, but I actually don't think I think it was like November or December.
Huh.
I loved dressing up. So, yeah, probably wasn't actually.
What a dorky looking kid. CV Gun is dressed, he's just got his Turbo Buddy shirt on this year.
He said not spooky, but.
Well, he's always got this spooky look on him. I don't know if there's an easier way to do this in OBS, like create a slideshow where they don't resize themselves, but I mean, I've never done this before. I'm just kind of Dan M.
Okay, so Dan M is the ape here.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Christmas ape going to summer camp. And he said it was, like, I had to explain a lot.
That's the worst thing. Worst. Doublefinger has a pumpkin he made, presumably?
Yeah.
There?
I asked for pumpkins and costumes.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth was a snow fairy.
With her dorky looking brother. In an awesome costume though. I like how the black is cut out to make him look skinnier.
Yeah. She said she was like
That works well.
rocking it knowing she didn't have to wear that skeleton jacket.
Uh-huh. What?
Okay, so Francisco is Ralph Wiggums as Idaho. I don't remember.
Like, I'm Idaho!
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He won a costume contest for that. A 2-4 of beer.
Enough Simpsons fans to get it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Gareth.
Gareth is the exact same costume as my 5-year-old nephew this year.
Oh my god. What the hell kid wants to be Scooby-Doo?
I don't know.
What have they been watching? Not Scooby-Doo.
Okay, so this,
is
like... It's Scooby Doobert? That's
Wow, this is hard to get down
yeah.
to
Sorry,
size.
man.
I'm
So
putting-
this is Julian. I'm pretty sure it's like his mom went all out with their front yard. It's incredible.
So I'll put this backwards.
Scooby-Doo's real name, Joe. Oh. It's super creepy.
Well, anyways, I'll try to get. How many of these are there?
This is like 80s style.
Cool.
Kristen. I had those
That's pretty cool.
glasses.
I like it. Cruxy in
Yeah.
one of his new cosplays.
Master of Hats. Pumpkins.
Looking good.
And then the next is Master of Hats costume, which is interesting because
scarecrow?
that hat was bought. But him and his, I think, grandma made the rest of the costume.
Somebody went as Dr. Frankfurter.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And that one.
Matt. Matsuko is going as
Michael Phelps.
Oh, that's the same guy.
Yeah, and he had to shave his entire body for it. Dedication.
Gotta be authentic. Minette. Looking good, Minette. That's pretty good. That's it. Doesn't Minette wear glasses? That alone is like kind of startling to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Miss Fables are always so cute.
Witch. God,
A little witch.
freaking adorable.
Very large photo though. Let's see if I can get it down. There you go.
That's a big ass bag. My crazy hair. Yeah, it works really well for a witch. Miss Chris is next. So her
Oh, yeah,
grandma
this
made
one's
this
creepy.
outfit. Yeah.
Because Becky and I both saw this and immediately thought this was me. And, the one in the Mario was me because that looks exactly like me as a kid.
Yeah. It's
Like it's
wild.
startling how
Fraser was
close
like,
to me
I
that
don't like
looks.
looking at it. It's like,
It's like a doppelganger kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
yeah. But yeah, her grandma made these outfits, and she was actually she like loved this costume. She just didn't like getting her photo taken.
So weird.
Yeah.
Mr. Death from Evils Within. Oh, yeah,
I
there you go.
keeper.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Maybe it is you.
Create a Black Mirror episode here. Nicole.
Nicole's in the clown costume, and her brother's the ghost.
That's great. That's
classic.
really creepy clown, and I don't think they intended to make it a creepy clown. Old Greg made a cute pumpkin. Sorry, I'm burping. Old Greg, as themselves, made themselves. They made this themselves.
Yeah.
Nice. Becky put me in there for my favorite Halloween night. That was my favorite Halloween ever.
Yep. It took me so fucking long to find that. I spent like that entire time last night when
Being Shaggy 2 Dope from ICP in high school.
I
We fucking committed to the characters too. We were fucking amazing. Yeah,
That's you? Holy
that's me
crap.
in high school.
It is.
Yeah.
Look how adorable he was.
We weren't edgy. No. For us, ICP was ironic. We saw them as comedians. We actually didn't know people took ICP seriously
Yeah.
when we listened to it in high school. We had no idea that they were anything but like a comedy band. But like we loved, you know, yeah, we committed to it. It was great.
Yes, he had hair. I made him shave it off.
And then Sophia.
So this isn't actually Halloween. It was for the release of
Yikes.
Chapter 2. So good.
Pretty cool.
Bitch, what the fuck? What you trying to do to me? You wasn't true to me. Son of a bitch.
He's going as Chairman Mao.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's pretty cute.
Yeah.
Stephanie went
is
as
Chucky.
Chucky. You guys are all very talented.
Uh-huh. And Stephanie is Pennywise.
Oh, jeez. SS George. Is that what it was called?
SS
in
Georgie?
The movie? The SS Georgie?
I don't think so.
Or did she just add that as her own flair?
So this is the real Alamist, and he is not a shopping list. Go to the next one. He's a ghost!
All right.
It was the SS Georgie.
It was. Why the things on his head? I don't get it.
I don't know.
I have no idea what's going on. Thomas's
So-
cat.
No. Not Thomas's
Not
cat.
their cat.
Yeah, it just showed up after they lit the pumpkins. And also the cat looks like it's barking,
Aww.
which is a pretty kitty thing to do.
Did you give him treats?
Yes, they did.
Good. Hey, it's Matt. Our kindergarten teacher friend here in Japan.
Yeah, he's
As a
the
pirate. He's
And
a
then-
very committed pirate.
Yeah. And then that's his wife, and she made everything that she's wearing there.
Wait, that's
Quite
not a
impressive.
pirate. She
No,
has
no,
her
no.
own pirate garb,
Yeah,
but that's
she does.
what is
She has
that?
a kick-ass pirate garb. She's like a spider.
Ah. Oh, I see the spider legs coming out from behind.
Mm-hmm.
And then a vampire and a clown. Oh, whoa, this is a massive photo, but there you go.
So,
Wow. It's not your fault.
Yes, it is, because it's me.
It's you. Oh. That's why
I'm the
it wasn't resized by
vampire.
Twitter. I
Yeah.
see. Oh, yeah, you
I'm
are.
a vampire, and my sister is
Wait.
a clown.
Which sister?
The one older, Lynn's.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's funny because you look like the older sibling there.
You know what? I actually don't know which one I am and which one you is my sister. I think I'm the vampire.
No, I think you're the vampire. I think. And then this is us from. Oh, it disappeared because. Well, when you have a big photo, it follows up, and then I have to find the center of this photo, put it up, and then it will. The last one. Well, at least this happened at the end. Here, maybe I can just make it appear down here over the chat. That's us as Hunter S. Thompson and Tank Girl.
Fraser smoked
I smoked a lot of cigarettes
so
that
many
night.
cigars that night. Like, the next day he woke up and he was like sick.
Back then I had a lot more hair on top, and so me shaving horseshoe bald was like an actual part of the costume.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's perfect.
Becky will post it to Twitter maybe so you guys can see it in full.
Yeah. I think
yeah.
I've posted it before, but I will post it again.
It was a fun year because anytime somebody would see me, like who got it, lots of people didn't get it, but when somebody got it, they got a big reward. Like I'd go into
Yeah.
full-blown impression mode.
It was wild.
I was around in a bucket hat. I wasn't showing my hair until anybody recognized me. Then I'd go, where are the bats? And stuff like that. And I'd
And
start
then
like
they'd see
acting
his
like I'm
head.
tripping out, and I'd do that like weird wonky walk that he does.
Which
Like,
was really fun because we were also at a rave.
yeah,
So,
yeah. People liked it.
those piercings, man.
Halloween is fun.
It is.
Anyways, thanks for joining us today, guys.
Yeah.
For yet another successful year of binding of. Did you win today? I wasn't paying attention, obviously, nor would I know what winning looks like in this game anymore. Did you
No,
do
I
good,
did a lot of
guys?
losing.
Oh,
Stats. I didn't beat Mom.
not even once.
No.
Thank you, Turbos, for submitting all your stories.
Yes.
Thanks, Shadows, for watching. We only, as you can clearly see, we ran out of time with just the Turbo stories, so they're the only ones we consider. But if you're a Shadow, maybe one day next year you'll think about being in the Turbo Club and submitting your own stories, because we could use some
Share
fresh
your
blood, because
trauma.
these guys are getting old. I've heard enough about their childhoods. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Stay awesome. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween.